name is Genome Soldier, and I like to speak.
Pikachu. I win. Oh boy.
Oh, it's Michelle Knott's time. Yeah, it's Michelle Knott's time. It's time for your best friend of mine. It's time, it's Michelle Knott's time. It's time, it's time, it's Michelle Knott's time.
Hello. Spooky. Hello, and welcome to a spooky edition of a spooky episode. I don't know, a spooky edition. Welcome to welcome to a spooky night here. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope everybody is doing well.
Meow,
Hello,
meow,
Aztec.
meow, meow,
Meow meow.
meow, 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 meow.
Hello, Aztec. How you doing? I'm not able to pause the video. I'm sorry. So I have a slideshow going. Hello, Abel Star. Hello. How are you? My microphone is very loud, I think. Pete.
Abel
Now let's see here. Her name is Park Your Carcass.
Hello, Ted.
エボルスター。あらあら、それは大好きだよ。ありがとう。
Thank you very much. Amy, thank you so much for the Beware Rage.
An impressive card.
Steakhouse, this is not that stream. Now, this is the scary spooky stream. So I have a slideshow going of images from Little Nightmares 1 and 2. I did not play the DLC. I did not play the DLC. Hello, Raptor. I did not play the DLC for Little Nightmares 1 that has the kid, so I haven't done that yet. I would like to, actually. It looks really cool. I would actually like to do that sometime. Would be pretty neat. I have coffee. Rainbow, I forgot to make coffee today. Look, 6 is holding toilet paper. So anyway, I replayed the games. I replayed 1 and 2, and I tried to get some really cool shots. I tried to get some really cool screenshots of, images and stuff of what's going on. So, well, at least Steakhouse has coffee. And there's the toilet paper. Thank you, Keenan. So we have some awesome, wonderful guests with us today. We've got Steakhouse and Raggedy and Steve and Keenan. And all these people are really into Little Nightmares like me. We're all like really super fascinated by the story and the lore and just all around everything with these games is so, and I didn't even know, it's so awesome, and I didn't even know about them until this past year when 2 came out. So Little Nightmares 2 came out, and I've never even heard about these. So I was watching Dami Kosa and Shalaluya play them, and I'm like, oh, they played 2 though, and I didn't even know there was a 1. So I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So So I'm like, I need to check these out. I need to get these games, and I wanted to stream them. And then Keenan came up with the idea, let's do like a cool like discussion roundtable about the Little Nightmares franchise. And I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I tried to get as many cool shots as I could from the games. So hopefully they look pretty cool, I guess. So I'm going to call, she said, awesome. What? So I'm going to call our friends on Discord right now. I hope you all are ready. Bailey's Irish Cream and Coffee is great. Yes, indeed, Steakhouse it is. Definitely. ¿Por qué no las dos? Coffee, but you have alcohol? Keenan's got alcohol, he says in the disc. Nice. All right, are you 4 ready? Is it 4? 4 people? Right, 4, and I'm 5, yes. Are you ready? I'm going to call you a ding ring a ding ding. Ring a ding ding a ding. Oh, I have the sounds off for the ba-ding for Discord.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
I suppose I'm here.
Hello, Steakhouse.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Raggedy.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. Is Keenan here?
Say that.
Do we have
Might
Keenan?
be.
Keenan. Oh,
Speaketh.
we lost Keenan.
Keenan,
Oh,
do
no.
not.
What happened?
Yeah,
Keenan,
not
I'm
having
going to get you.
kidding.
I'm having
So,
audio issues, he says. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'm sure he'll be with us soon.
What happened? So, well, while we're waiting for Keenan, thank you all so much for joining us. Chris, if you have their links, I would love for you to put their Twitter. Since all of you are artists and streamers and stuff, I would love to promote you here. So if you, I asked Chris if he could put like your Twitter or Twitch, whatever. I think it's just
Oh,
Steakhouse
you're
and
too kind.
Steve. Who would like to go first? Would you like to introduce yourselves and tell everybody who you are? Who are you? Who do you work for? Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Steve. You're cooler than me.
No,
Oh,
stop.
stop.
Stop it.
All right, I'll go first though.
Steve.
So, hello, I'm Steve. You may know me in chat as I am Stev. I mainly work on jewelry on Twitch here, and other mediums of art such as animation, acrylic painting, photography, photo editing, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And how long have I known you for, Michelle? Now, what, like 5 years?
I think
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Maybe like
So-
5 years.
Something like that. Met Michelle at a con here in South Jersey like 5 years ago, and yeah, that's how all this started.
Woohoo! So you can, so Steve, you can follow him on Twitter. There's his link right there, and you can also.
I would advise against the Twitter because I hardly use it. I just spam like animation clips and stuff like that, like cute animals. If you're interested in that type of thing, by all means, but like there's nothing of substance.
Oh, okay, then follow him on Twitch. Thank you, Stakey. It just did a shout out to you. Thank you, Stakey.
Much
Would you like to
appreciated,
go
my
next, Stakey?
Sure.
Who are you?
What are we doing? I don't
Who
like
are you and
talking about
who do you work
myself.
for?
Come
No.
on. I stream and I do things occasionally. Yes.
He's an avid
He's also
coffee
very-
drinker. Oh, sorry.
I think we all know that. If everyone has
Yes,
this
we
figured
do
out,
know
they
that you're
drink a lot
handsome.
of
You're
coffee.
right.
And you're very
What?
handsome.
No, I'm not. Don't even get that
Yes, you
going.
are.
Don't even start.
Don't
No,
lie. Sticky, stop lying on stream.
that's it. I'm going to bed.
Lies and slander.
I'm going to bed. That's it.
No, you can't go to bed. We need to hear
can
your
do this from
opinions
my
on
bed.
Little Nightmares.
Little nightmares. Yeah. Yeah. I
The man
stream
himself
occasionally once in a
is
while.
here.
I don't know. I don't like talking about myself. So
All you gotta know is that Steakhouse is awesome. That's it. That's all you gotta
Um,
know. Is he's awesome.
yes, sure. I won't agree with that right now, but yes.
All right, Raggedy Head. Who are you and who do you work for? No, who do you work for? No, just kidding.
Yeah, Raggedy, who do you work for?
I work for as a chaos agent. in the Super
Facts.
Squad.
Nice.
But yes, hello. I'm Raggedy or Raggedy Head. I am an artist and I do a lot of, like anime and like inspired illustrations and things like that. So yeah, a lot of my art is like on my Twitter, and I also am really interested into the Little Nightmares lore.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of went on a binge like after Michelle started playing like Little Nightmares 1, and I was just like super curious of what happens next. So I kind of went ahead and
You were
watched
playing the games?
no, I didn't play the games.
Oh.
I watched a specific Irishman on YouTube.
Did you
And I
watch
watched his-
Jacksepticeye?
I do.
I love him. I love Jacksepticeye. He's great.
Me too.
He's the best. Cool. Well, go check out Raggedy Head. She does some awesome artwork, and you don't do Twitch yet, right? Or
Not yet.
Okay.
But soon, very soon.
soon. Cool. Thank you so much for being here. Do we have Keenan yet? Keenan, are you there?
Hello.
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 We can't really hear you too well. Is
Keenan, am I gonna have to drive up to Canada and get you?
I don't know what's going on with my microphone, but
You sound better now.
This-
Much
yeah.
better.
oh, okay, maybe I just have to speak up.
yeah, whatever you just did, it sounds better. Hello,
All right.
Keenan. Who are you and who do you work for?
I work for Steakhouse. I am also his. I'm also his stakeout or his chaos agent.
Chaos.
Why am I getting thrown under the bus?
What do you mean? Why are you being thrown under the bus? This is common knowledge.
I have nothing to do with any of this shit.
Sure. Okay.
Steakhouse, you're our employer. You're our CEO. Of course, we're gonna talk about you.
You can't lie. I mean, they're saying you're the CEO of Chaos, so you can't hide from this.
This is not about that right now. This is about Little Nightmares, guys. Come on.
Is there not chaos present within Little Nightmares?
Facts. That's true.
True.
All right, should we just like dive right into it? I got my slideshow going right here. So you can see like all the different there's the chef. Some very spooky images. So once again, if you can't handle spooky stuff, go watch somebody else's stream. Who's not
Yeah, I
playing
suddenly
spooky
want a piece of sausage.
stuff. Look at all that meat. My goodness.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think that's actual like animal meat though.
It's not animal meat? Oh, is that one
I
of
don't
your
think so.
theories? Uh-oh.
I think
Uh-oh.
so.
So, what I was thinking of starting this off with, like, let's not dive into, I guess, like, what the lore and into the story of the game. So I thought we could talk about maybe first the aesthetics of the game, like the art and the music. I think would be really cool. Since Keenan and Raggedy and Steve, like all three of you are artists. You draw and you do animations and things like that. So first let's talk about the music of Little Nightmares. I'd love to talk about first, which I really describe as like hauntingly beautiful with this game. So how do you guys feel about not just like even the music, but just like the sound in general here of like everything makes like the sound effects that go on? What's like your opinion about this whole genre of music?
I think they did a fantastic job with like the sound design and the music. They've been able to make every like area feel like it's so hard to describe, but like each area that you kind of traverse to has a specific sort of like tone or feel,
right?
And there's like sound effects that kind of help like amplify it. Like the first thing that comes to mind, like one of my favorite like sound design and like music is like from like the Hunter from Little Nightmares 2. He has a very kind of like screechy violin sort of sound, and it goes with like how he performs like taxidermy, and he's like using like the first shot that you see, he's using a saw, and it's just like it feeds very well into that while also giving you like a sense of like horror and doom. And like there's so many more examples of like other like bosses and areas that they execute it so well.
Right. Yeah, the Foley in general is like really spot on. You like anything that's going on, like the meat sounds and like it's disgusting, but it's real, it's so real in this, like just like the footsteps and the walking and the echoes and just like everything interacting with like each element in here, the elevators, like it's so, it really like brings you into the story because it's just so real and full, when you have good Foley and like sound effects like that. So
I think the sound effect that sticks out most to me would be like the creaking of metal.
Yes.
It's most of the metal creaking is placed in spots where it just is simply perfect, and I don't think I would have changed it in any way. Like I don't think the sound needs to be changed at all. Like no kind of pitch issue there. I also, in terms of like voices and vocalizations, the chef from Little Nightmares 1 is the one that sticks out most in my mind. Like, yeah, that noise, like it just kind of surprised, like grotesque vocalization. Yeah, they're creepy. They like make my hair stand on end. So
also with the chefs, they also have like I noticed when they're chasing you, they have a very like brass sounding, like trumpets booming, like sort of sound, like as like they're coming with you. I feel like that helps sells with like how like they're like these humongous like type creatures that are like coming after you.
Right.
Yeah,
there's
it helps
almost
to create a sense of agency.
Yeah, there's like this tuba in there too. It's like wanna, it's almost like not like Jaws, but like almost Jaws in a sense that it's like when you hear the Jaws sound, it's like, oh, Jaws is coming, or like when you hear like the that it's like Jason, or here comes Mike Myers in Halloween, and when you hear those sounds in here, like something bad is gonna happen. So
yeah, and then the music just comes into play like very abruptly as soon as they notice you, which kind of helps add to the like jolt of actually being noticed and the agency of trying to get away.
Right. It's absolutely like a jump scare, but not a jump scare at the same time. You're like, oh my god, run! Like something's gonna happen. You need to like either run or hide in this. So, which freaks you out, you know. So yeah, it definitely adds that like jump scare without it being like, you know, a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of thing that's just like jump scare after jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. You're like So it's more like urgency instead of just like initial scream, you know, initial jolt of like freaking out. So
Yeah, and I feel like it's a
works
lot
really-
less formulaic as compared to Five Nights at Freddy's, because with Five Nights at Freddy's, like you kind of know what you're going to expect, whereas with Little Nightmares, you know what's going to happen once you're noticed. It doesn't follow a pattern with each individual area, so you
Yeah.
know it's a lot less formulaic and a lot more engaging, I think.
I think they do a really good job with pacing because
Yes.
there's a lot of moments of like calm or just like pure puzzle solving where like you are more likely to drop your guard down a little bit because you're like just trying to figure out like, oh, like where's the next place I'm trying to go and like things like that. And so when a boss or a monster shows up, it has more impact.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was thinking one that really sticks out in my head that it was a big contrast between 1 and 2 is that like they're calling to each other now, like the sound of like, hey, hi, oh, like that Mono does, but then also like 6, she's like, like, come here, you know? And I'm like, oh, that's such a great element that was added in 2 after 1 because there isn't really that in 1 because 6 isn't interacting with anybody too much. I mean, she has a little bit, but not like, you know, to the depth that she's interacting with Mono in 2. So I love that element that they created in 2 where they're communicating with each other, you know, vocally too. And I'm like, oh, and they just sound adorable. They just sound, you know, so cute.
I think that adds even more agency too, because instead of just looking after yourself, you're looking after somebody else.
Exactly. Keenan, Steakhouse, would you like? What do you think of the music and sound effects and stuff in this?
I think both of them do a really good job at setting the tone for the whole game. Throughout the whole game, like each individual monster, boss, creature has a different theme to them.
Right.
Especially when I think my favorite's probably the lady.
The lady, yeah,
yeah. They also do a really good job at killing off sounds and music in certain spots too. Like when you meet her, you just hear her whistling or singing.
Right.
It sets a huge like aesthetic throughout the whole game of how creepy this is, in the sense of not like zombie movies and games that are like, oh, there's a bunch of monsters. Like you literally have no idea what's in this game, what's going on.
Right.
The second one did a lot more creatures, I think, especially with the dolls and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought the first one was creepier though. But
You saw the first one was creepier than the second one?
yeah,
Yeah.
just because it didn't have as many monsters. You were literally in each area dealing with the monster, and you moved on.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
sound effects, like you guys were mentioning, the twins there. Sounds like lumbering giants when they're chasing you. They make those noises. Who is it? The lady. She doesn't really make noises when she knows. She just shows up. There's no noise from her.
I'd love to talk about the lady for a second, just with like her song that she does. It's extremely repetitive. It's melodic in a haunting kind of way, but it's very repetitive. Like it's not a full song. Like, do you have any thoughts? Like, why do you think that is? Like, it's
So I did notice like from what she's singing like an off-key version of the main theme, like the theme that you hear when like you open the game. Yeah, it's like the same sound but just like a little bit off.
Right.
I'm wondering if it's kind of the theme that goes with her is that everything being broken.
Ooh, I like that.
So, like her, if you look at when you meet her, she's looking in a mirror that's broken.
Right.
everything is broken in her world. So the song would be broken too, on kind of like a broken record.
Like a broken
It just-
record. Oh, I
yeah.
like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. That's a good point. Yeah. That totally makes sense. That makes sense. Obviously, it seems like all the characters in one way or another in these games are broken somehow, So, Keenan, you're
say,
so
like, they're-
quiet. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, just like something that I feel like I notice with a lot of the characters is like, just like with the whole topic of it being broken, is like they all feel like they're kind of like stuck in their own loop or own cycle. Like cycles seems to be a major connecting thing between like the two games.
Right.
So
Yes.
it's just something that I noticed.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah. The cycle, but yeah, we'll get into like the cycle and stuff. I was just kind of wanted to just get like, I guess, the music and artwork out of the way first. I don't know. But well, speaking specifically like music, very like Tim Burton-esque, Danny Elfman, I would
Very.
say. I don't know if the developers were actually influenced by them, but I definitely get those vibes. I'm thinking like, Nightmare Before Christmas, Batman Returns, those kind of things. 'Cause actually, I think Danny Elfman did the first Batman as well. I'm trying to remember. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
he did.
Alice in Wonderland, very, but like a little more on the scary side, definitely. But
Corpse Bride, maybe.
Corpse
Or,
Bride, yes.
What's that other Tim Burton animated one they did?
Well, there's Coraline, but I don't know.
Coraline,
Was
yes.
that Tim Burton? I thought
Yeah.
it was. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if Coraline was. Ooh, dystopian. That's interesting. Kari-chan, dystopian.
I think Coraline was Tim Burton.
I don't know if Coraline was Pixar or I don't remember.
No, they were done by a different studio.
I have to Google it. I should have Googled
Oh,
this
yeah.
before.
I'm Googling. I'm
Coraline's
Googling it right now.
I'm doing it right now.
Somebody
Looks
Google
like
this.
Coraline was directed by Henry Selick.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Excuse
Neil
me.
Gaiman. It was a Neil Gaiman thing. Who, for comic book readers, he's a big comic book writer.
Yes. Neil Gaiman. Yeah. Karja says, my first thought is that it's like humming an old lullaby or something when you were little. Yeah, because I guess lullabies are pretty repetitive too, so that makes sense. Like she almost has kind of like a childlike demeanor where she never really had a chance to grow up, possibly. But that's getting more into like the lore. Let's look at the like art for a second. Let's look at this like art aesthetic, since we got like 3 artists in here. I mean, gorgeous, obviously. The color palettes in each section are just amazing. XX, can of corn. Thank you so much for the follow. Hello. So,
Keenan, you're so quiet. Keenan, what do you think?
say it in French. Bonjour, comment allez-vous?
Bonjour, comment allez-vous?
I told you what to do, Keenan.
What did you tell him to do?
Why-
Repeat everything we said in French.
Nice.
It's a French stream now.
This is the French stream now.
Do like the flight
Either
attendant,
we're gonna have some French fries or French toast.
French bread.
French toast.
French
French
toast.
Oh, baguette, oui, oui.
For art-wise, I really like the forest. I like the aesthetic and stuff, the lighting and like the blur and stuff. It was like really beautiful, beautifully done.
What do you think of like that I'm just seeing right now is like Six is holding the mirror and stuff. A lot of spotlight usage in these games everywhere. There's like a
10
spotlight
out of
here,
10.
there's a spotlight here. Do you think that's a good idea, or should it be more lit? Like,
I like the usage of light. It was really good. I think it was like perfectly done.
yeah. Do you think like it's better to have more spotlight images than just like everything's lit up, like have them surrounded by darkness?
Well, in some certain areas, I thought it was like well done. Or the darkness is uh, appropriately made, and like it's just I feel like it's made right. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like it's not like you can still see it doesn't take away from like what's going on in like the action.
Yeah, like
Like
they
you're
knew
just-
what they were doing with the lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with the lighting from both in terms of like an aesthetic standpoint and like a gameplay standpoint, because they usually like highlight certain areas for where you need to go. There's usually always some sort of spotlight somewhere to help like guide your eye to where to go. So in a game where like there's like no dialogue and there's only visual cues, I think that they did a good job in like helping like the player figure out where to go.
The one thing obviously that drove me insane, as you all know, is the use of the flashlight with the mannequins. Drove me nuts because I couldn't control it. So I thought excuse me, I thought that was interesting. That it's like, okay, we're gonna play red light, green light, 1, 2, 3 right now, and it's like I turn around, it's darkness. Now we're gonna move, we're gonna attack you, and then I need to shine the flashlight at you, which just drove me insane. Yet I did think it was very cool. I'm like, this is a very cool idea and a good usage of light. But it was still it was frustrating. What did you guys think of like the mannequins and the use of the flashlight and stuff with that?
I almost feel like if you make the game too bright, you take away the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
Because the idea of the game is supposed to be creepy, and if any horror game that you guys have seen, none of them have a whole lot of light to deal with. I think too much light would have given it away, and too dark it would have made it too hard to play. I think it was perfect the way they did it.
Right, this isn't like a Mario game that's like, oh, we're playing Mario Odyssey and running around.
Oh, good,
and it's
Mario!
Like
I can see everything I'm doing.
It's like bright colors and sunshine all around. This is
like the idea of like all these horror games, right, has always been like make it as dark as you can because you don't want to know what's around the corner because that's the whole point. Is like you said, if it's like Mario, I can see Goombas a mile away. I'm not playing Mario to see. I'm not playing this game to see Goombas. I'm playing this game to see some weird fucking monster dead somewhere or whatever they throw at me. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I think it was perfectly done. I think if there's too much light anywhere, it would have. I think it ruined the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like it's.
Wesker, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, real quick. Wesker Wild, thank you so much for the follow. Hello, and We Coyote, thank you very much for the follow. Hello, how you doing? Welcome.
Wesker Wild, I love that. Like Albert Wesker?
I don't know. So anything else on like the artwork? What do you? Oh, were you going to say something, Steve? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a difficult balancing act to, reconcile with regards to games such as this, because if there's too much or too little of one element, it just throws the entire atmosphere off, like Steakhouse was getting at. So, for them to have created an environment as they have across both of the games, that seems pretty cohesive and uniform while still being different in the areas it needs to be. Like cohesive, I mean by like, just the creep factor and everything, thereof. I think they did a pretty good job with it. So there's something to be said about that.
Where you're looking at like where the shadows are is like really, it's just perfect. Like, right now the slideshow has gotten into Little Nightmares 2, and like you see in the back where it's more lit, it's like almost like the moonlight is shining more into the forest. This is Keenan's favorite area, and the shadows are just perfectly displayed throughout, but still having the focus on Mono or Mono and Six, like the main characters. So, which is pretty neat. So I think it's pretty dope.
Another thing I wanted to mention are the colors.
Yes.
The first game, I feel like they used a lot of yellow lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And the second game, they used a lot of blue lighting. And I think there's something with that, like yellow is a warm color, and I kind of theorize that because you're inside the maw, it's warm. It's a warm color. It's warm.
Okay. Yeah.
And in the second game, because you're outside, you imagine it's cooler, and blue is a cold color. And I think they kind of implemented the colors with the environment.
That's a very, very good point. That's a very good point. Yeah. And
Also, like a difference between like the first game, I think the more yellow lighting is like it's more artificial light. They're within this like whole facility that's like regulated in a specific way, and then in the second game it's more outdoorsy. Like they're relying on like the moonlight and natural light. So there's also like that kind of like difference that I think also helps with like why they chose like specific color tones.
Right. But yeah, I like that's a cool point. That I didn't even think about with the artwork, that the maw you're more like inside, and in 2 it's more like outside. Hello, Lord Gengar. We got Lord Gengar.
Just the sound effect we need for today.
Ah, yes, Gengar's sound. Hello, Lord Gengar. How doth he fare today? Of the Knights of Fae. Even like when they're indoors in the different houses and stuff like that, it's almost like there's a different feel to it and color to it with the artwork, which is pretty neat. So, yeah, just beautifully done. It's really cool. Oh, this is in the slideshow is when Mono sees 6 for the first time, and she's like, "No, I run away." Super cute. They're super adorable. So, anything else on like the music or art that you all wanted to mention, possibly?
I completely forgot about that dining table spot that you have on the clip.
Yeah, the dining table.
Great family dinner
noises.
aspect.
Right?
I think that part was supposed to be a jump scare where like the father kind of figure was supposed to like fall down in front of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that
I
would've been
feel
cool.
like they took it out because they wanted the sort of like first like suspenseful moment to be like when you see the hunter.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, even like the grandmother, when you have to get the crank, was kind of creepy. You were like, "Ugh," like you got to pull it and her arm falls off. You know, that was kind of creepy too.
I like how in the last clip that you just showed was the toilet paper. Everything is like dark blue, and it's bright white.
Right.
There.
That's. I think that's
Let's
the
highlight
funny
the toilet
thing.
paper.
I think that's the funny thing about these is like all the toilet paper is super bright white. It's so crazy in these.
There's some sort of power in the toilet paper.
I know, right? It's
I mean,
like
there
people
has
like
been all year, so
Ian will
might as
tell
well
you.
be in the game too.
Good thing there's a toilet paper emote. But yeah, absolutely. I have no complaints whatsoever. Music, A+, S tier. if we're doing tiers. Artwork, A+, S tier, absolutely. Just everything sets the tone and the feel for these games. You know, music, sound effects, super creepy, but very cool. And jump scares, not too many jump scares, urgency to get out of a certain situation or you will die. And yeah, the lighting, gorgeous. I don't think I have any complaints at all.
You know, I was thinking too, with regards to the lighting. I think, there's an alert.
Hi, Andrew Smasha. Sorry about that.
It's alright. At any rate, I feel like the blue lighting in Little Nightmares 2, like, it makes things feel more like cold and bleak. And
Right.
you know, especially when you get to the end of the game and, you know, that thing happens, you know, just in case people here don't want to be spoiled, you know, in chat
I
and
didn't see
everything.
it.
There's the thing that happens
I don't
at
have
the very
that
end of the
in
game.
here. Just so you know, I
So-
don't have that scene in here, but
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna end up
you know
talking
what I
about
mean,
it
right?
anyway, but
It just like, I don't know. It just feels like a very bleak ending. You know what I mean? And I think the
yes,
like
yeah,
irony blue color like kind of emphasizes that.
absolutely, absolutely. Oh, there was also I noticed, and I was trying to take pictures of this. Like, speaking of like the artwork, the depth perception in this game. Holy crap, man! You could be in one area and it like zooms out to the whole entire thing where you're walking across a platform and you're like, oh my god, this is so jarring, I'm gonna fall. But when they're like creeping and crawling through air ducts and like these little tunnels outside in the forest, it's got this super close up that you could see their cute little adorable faces, and it's so neat. Like this, like the city is just this huge, and it's zoomed out, so where like Mono and Six look so super little tiny, and it's just this huge city, which is like, whoa, like Inception much. But I love, like, even though I was kind of like, I was like, whoa, yo, I thought it was so amazing at how it would just like zoom out and in, that you get the feel of all of these different kind of depths in these areas. And I think it did it more in 2, I think, than in 1. In 1, yes, especially when Six goes outside of the mall and she's like climbing up the ladder, and you know the big people are like they're walking up the plank into the mall from the boat, and there it like zooms out and you're like, whoa, and it looks really, really cool. And but yeah, and I think, well, true in 2, because you're in like a city, so there's more air ducts to go through, and in 1, there were some. I just feel like not as many, but yeah. Sorry, that was my little tangent on the depth perception in this game.
I mean, if you think about it, almost the way that like you were talking about how the camera angle goes, it's almost like you're being watched.
Yes. Oh,
like the
yeah.
first one, you could claim. So the big one is the lady, right? In the first one, it almost acts like you're being watched by her, and you're looking at the game from her aspect, and she's watching Six go throughout everything. You kind of get that idea too from the second one a little bit too. Who's the big bad guy from the second one? Tall Man?
Is he the tall man or the thin man? What is he called?
Thin
Like,
Man? No, well, Thin
Thin
Man would be
Man.
that other. Oh, Thin Man, yeah.
He's the thin man. I can never remember if he's the tall man or the thin man. I'm like, what is he called again?
It's almost like you're being watched by these two. Like you're watching it from their
Yes,
aspect.
definitely.
You know, I don't know if that was the truth, but kind of the way I felt playing the first one, at least.
You kind of get that feel when Six is going in an area, and then all of a sudden, like, the lady just leaves, and it's like, whoa, like she breaks the vase to get the key, and you're freaking out because, like, when I did that, I'm like, do I need to hide under the desk or something? Because I saw people play 2, I didn't see anybody play 1, so I didn't know what to expect with 1. So I'm like, do I need to hide? She's gonna come after me. She's gonna hear this, and she doesn't. She like disappears, and it's like, oh, okay. It's like, you knew I was in here, didn't you? It's like she almost, like, she knows that Six is there. And the Thin Man too, obviously, following like through the TVs and stuff. So crazy. All Angry Cherub, thank you so much for the follow. Righty, do you know Angry Cherub? I see you talking in chat.
Oh yeah, she's a friend of mine.
Hello, welcome, Angry Cherub.
Did they just tell us Raggedy's real name?
Wait,
Yeah.
oh no, Raggedy has been exposed. Your real name has been exposed.
Nobody saw anything.
If anyone says anything, I will. If anyone says anything, I will delete you.
I will delete you.
Stake deletes you from like existence.
Eat us, delete us.
Yeetus deletus. Oh no! Oh, now she feels bad. She's like, I'm sorry. That's okay.
Is Angry Cherub? Oh.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't really care that much. I just find it funny.
All right, you're all safe, chat, for now.
So anything else on like the music or artwork, sound effects. I'm trying to think if there was any. I love when the like mono the speaking. I love when they start to speak to each other and they call out to each other. Hey, hi. It's so super cute. I love that. The lady like singing the like quote unquote kind of like a lullaby kind of thing. Super cool. And each boss, I guess you would call them, like when you get to like the boss of the area, that each has their own kind of like scream and like angriness, and they're gonna come get you and attack you.
Well, the televisions.
Yes,
like whenever you like approach them, you could hear like power. Like
yes,
I thought it was like really cool. Like you went to the TV and it did like.
yes. Yeah. It's weird because it's like obviously your joysticks are like vibrating and stuff. You're like, whoa, I gotta do something here. But it's like you can almost feel it through your whole entire body when the TV goes off and it's like, all right, I gotta tune this thing, I guess. And trying to figure that out. That was interesting trying to figure out. It's like, okay, I gotta move right or left or up, down. Like, how do I do this? So it was really neat. And I thought it added like a nice element to it. Which is like their namesakes, like mono, stereo, you know. So
Oh, Rainbow Eevee.
It's not that
Looking
kind of
the
stream.
vibes.
Guys, that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. We can do
Vibrating
Silverhand tomorrow.
Oh God.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else with like, right, Kari-chan? I know. Music or artwork? Just like, what about the artwork of the characters themselves? The teacher, the hunter, the doctor, the chefs, like, super creepy, right? Like, this is something.
Yeah, the character design's amazing.
Yes.
They definitely, achieved what they were aiming for with that.
Really,
Especially with
yeah.
the chef, I think. Just grotesque.
So which one sticks out more in your minds, like for all of you? Is it mostly the chef? The chef is pretty, like he's the worst, the most grotesque one?
The chefs are pretty gross, and I would say the janitor in the first one too, with the skin like folding down over his eyes.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah,
And the lady with
I'd
the
say
neck.
the doctor.
the doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because you know how he's like upside down on the ceiling, right?
Yes.
And his face is like lifted, so it's like gravity like pushed his face down, and like when he turns like right side up, his face is all like upside down, and I think that was pretty cool.
That's really a good point. Since he is, why do you think that is? That he like is crawling on the ceiling? Like why?
Spider-Man.
He's he's secretly Spider-Man.
I was actually just about to say.
I was unaware there was radioactive spiders in these games,
Is
but
there-
maybe that's what those hands that are crawling are.
Oh, the hands. So, that's a good point. The face huggers. I was calling them the face. I think everybody was. It's like they saw these hands and they're just like face huggers from Alien. It's like that's what everybody think. I think Jacksepticeye said that too. Yeah, he's like, oh, they're like the face huggers from Alien.
I would say that the not the puppets, but the dolls in the second one too in the hospital. Those reminded me a lot of the nurses from Silent Hill.
Yes.
They acted just like they did. You almost wonder if they pulled the idea from the nurses in having to use the flashlight or any light to keep them from moving and the way they move and interact too.
Definitely. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, the nurse. I'm like, the nurses in Silent Hill. Oh, we just came up to the pictures where you do find out that this is in fact 6. And she puts on the what do you guys think of this bright yellow raincoat that 6 is wearing? And obviously Mono has this bright yellow rain hat. Also, I love the shot that I got, like with them like putting their hands against the chain link fence.
I was thinking of Long John Silver's.
Long John. Because I'm like, you're trying to be sneaky and you're trying to sneak, but you're wearing these like bright outfits. Why? Like, what is the thought process here?
That's a good idea. A question. I don't know. I have no idea. I would have no clue because both of them are in yellow, like bright yellow, throughout the whole game, mostly, right?
Mono, you can change. You can change the hat. So he could wear like different hats. I just put the rain hat on him for here because when she found the yellow rain jacket.
Outside of all the like the dark colors, those are the only two colors that really stand out outside of everything else, if I can remember, other than like the weird colors in other areas. But the two yellow is the brightest things in the game,
right?
Mostly.
Do you think that was done on purpose? Like, well, we got to make them more of like a focal point, so let's put them in these bright yellow outfits.
maybe to also contrast the darkness of the whole game, so like you're not wandering around with a character you can't see.
Since it's super dark.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because that would make it really hard if like you have a character that's dressed in like dark clothes and you're wandering around in a dark area. Like, where's my character gone?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're also just like the
Hide and
characters
seek.
themselves are so tiny and the environments are so full, like with like clutter or however they are. So I think making 6 in a very like bright, like it's not just like a muted yellow or anything. It's a really high contrast yellow. So I think that helps with like being able to identify where she is no matter like what lighting or situation that she's in.
Right.
Kari Chan also makes a good point. The raincoats kind of draw the attention to the overall gloom.
Yeah.
Of that area too of the games.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That That makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely.
Another element of character design that the baby Phoenix brings up too is like the way that the characters move.
Yes.
Really enhances like the creep factor and everything. The movement just seem erratic or just very stop and go and just peculiar, and it adds that sense of like alienation from the player character who moves like a normal human person. So it really makes you feel like the other in a space full of just these grotesque figures.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah. And they're so tiny.
Also,
yeah.
Yellow. I like there's meaning behind colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yellow can indicate jealousy, betrayal, illness, and danger.
Ooh,
and
interesting.
I like the betrayal part about it, because at the end of Little Nightmares 2, Mono, or not Mono, but 6 feels betrayed by Mono.
Right.
And I thought that was maybe it might be a character thing, might have been a coincidence, but
that's cool. Yeah, since I didn't even think about that like the colors have meaning, so that makes perfect sense. But yeah, definitely the one sound of since we're like in the hospital right now, the one sound that sticks out in my mind a lot, especially are the hands, like the face huggers, the hands, and the way they just like, it's like I can't do it right now, like because I already cracked my knuckles. It's like their knuckles are just constantly cracking, and it's so creepy, but it's so cool at the same time because it's like, yep. That's what a creepy severed hand would sound like, I suppose. And even when, you're attacking the hands and the kids and stuff, and when you're hitting these things, the way that sounds, and when like the little puppet children and they fall apart, and the hands when you're hitting the hands, it's just like, and the way it sounds like you're breaking all of the bones in the entire hand, and you're just the puppets. It sounds like wood, like you're actually breaking a piece of wood. So that I think is just amazing. Here's a bar of soap being thrown at one of the mannequins. The mannequins I hate them the most. Oh my god, that was the death of me. So well, we can still talk about art and music and all this sound and stuff. Let's dive into the story of this. Now, I thought it was really interesting that 2 is actually a prequel. Okay, this is going to be like spoilers, everybody. If you don't want to be spoiled here, like, just go to a different stream, because we're going to be saying some spoiler stuff. Oh, here's the hands. But, so, I do like that 2, they made a prequel to 1. It was interesting. And I guess it kind of sucks in a way that I saw 2 first. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't really, because I never saw 1, because 2 just came out this past year. So, but, do you know, oh, shoot. Oh, we're getting a raid. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Hold on. Warriors. Warriors, get out your swords and shields and toilet paper for our esteemed guests. We have a raid from Marcus Bryson. Marcus Bryson. Wow, I haven't seen you in a while. Hello. How you doing? There's the creepy doctor. Hello, everybody. Hello. How are you? Bugs, Bryson, what's going on? Shout out. Whoops. I can't type. P-A.
Oh, there's the doctor's face.
Shout out to Bugs Bryson. Super Feisty Fox, thank you so much for the follow. Hello. Shout out to Bugs Bryson. He was playing Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart. That's cool.
The new one.
That's a new one?
I think so.
Nice. What's up, Raiders? How you doing? Raiders for you. If you could click on my link there so I get your credit for your viewership, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like to stay. We're doing a Little Nightmares roundtable discussion. We were just discussing the music and sound effects of Little Nightmares. And also, like, the art, the overall aesthetics and artwork of the games. And now we're going to get into the lore and the story and what we think these are really about. So, stay if you like. But there are going to be spoilers. And it is spooky. If you don't like spooky games, I have spooky images. I have screenshots here from the game. There's going to be some spooky images here. So if you don't like spooky images, go watch somebody else. These are horror games. I think they're rated mature. I think these are rated mature.
Yeah, they are definitely mature.
These are rated mature. So definitely don't want to, yeah. But Bryson, hello. Good to see you. So I'm Michelle Nuts. I do voiceovers and stuff. And I have some guests here. We have Super Stakey. We have Raggedy Head. We have Steve and Keenan on our discussion here. So welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much for the raid. You better leave then? Oh, okay, Super Feisty Fox, I'm so sorry. Join us tomorrow for Persona 5 Royal, which is also a mature game, but not a horror game, so it's not that bad.
Which involves a lot of this.
Impressive.
It's a little bit suggestive at times.
It's wait.
Hey, Steve, do you need some coffee?
You're gonna hear
Well,
oh my a lot.
Queen Michelle, can I get you some coffee?
The catchy
This
time.
is not the stream. This is not the stream for that. You can't do that now. No.
Oh, this is a special request from a certain superstation.
No, you
It
can't
had
do
to be
that.
done, Michelle. I'm so sorry.
Oh crap. I've lost control. I have lost control of the stream.
That implies you had control to
Hold
begin
on.
with.
Hold on. You thought you could get us on here and not it get derailed somewhere? Come on. It's not like she doesn't know me very well.
Oh man. So yeah, if you want to join into my Persona 5 Royal stream tomorrow, my wonderful friend Steve here makes me flustered all the time because he does the voice of Akechi for me, and he's my favorite. So
Steve, you willingly did it. I didn't make you do shit.
wait,
You
what?
gave me the idea.
Stinky baby, don't type in chat when I have you on the. You guys are like going into the chat. And you can just say things right here. I'm like, ah.
Hey, Steve, I'm alone.
You're alone.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
You're welcome.
No, stop.
She's never gonna have me back on again now.
Oh my god. you
Somehow I
guys.
doubt it, but, you know.
I can't, man. I can't. Oh my
So
god.
Little
Again,
Nightmares,
sexy
guys.
So now let's just got derailed again. Oh my god. How many times is this gonna get derailed today? Magic Crud! Thank you for the follow. Hello. I've got people on the line today. On
I mean,
Discord.
honestly, we only got derailed one time, so that's pretty good.
I'm terrible at reeling you guys back in. I'm terrible. Like, all right, let's stick to the topic on hand.
So we just finished
The
up
Little Nightmares.
conversation on the music and the character design and other such things, and we were moving on
Yes.
to more of the story, correct?
Story. I was what was I saying? I was talking about how Little Nightmares 2 is a prequel to Little Nightmares 1. So, I'm trying to think of where should we start here with the storyline, because obviously, like, in 1, obviously, okay, you got Six and the lady are connected, and then you have in 2, Mono and the Thin Man, right? Not Tall Man. The Thin Man are connected, obviously. And in my opinion, I don't know, this is my opinion. I said this in one of my streams when I was playing the games, that usually in any kind of game, like either a video game, movie, TV show, story, whatever, animation, whatever, you have a protagonist and an antagonist, right? And it's like, I feel like in these, the protagonist and the antagonist are the same people, which is why, and we were discussing this earlier, there is a cycle that constantly goes in this, like the lady singing the lullaby, and this repetitive with, there's also a lot of repetitiveness, which is funny, with there's the eyes, there's the shoes, constant shoes all over the place, televisions, and the music box. The music box is seen everywhere throughout 1 and 2, which is interesting. Because I've come across it so many times, I'm like, there's a music box. It's not like all the time, but you know, you can tell it's there. So there's this sort of like cycle repetitiveness to these games, which is not fully, because you do have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have a section for each, you know, boss, I would say. Like, you know, you get to the boss of the area. And there's also the different, you know, it's almost like, who is in control of each of these realms? The Maw and I don't know what to call it. The city? Do we just call it the city? I don't know if it actually has like a name.
I think it was called the Pale City.
The Pale City. Okay. Thoughts?
You know, I had a thought. Just like the, you know, repetitive cycles and everything. I feel like the repetitive cycles might be perpetuated by people with self-serving desires, right? So if you think about it, Mono was the playable character in 2, right?
Yes.
So Mono was the only one, from my perspective, who was like looking out for somebody other than themselves, and that person being Six.
Right.
And was, you know, backstabbed in the end. And then he went on to devolve and degrade into the Thin Man, who would later become an antagonistic figure and therefore follow his own agenda. So Six has been following her own agenda the entire time. You know, the creatures and monsters in the Maw and in the city are following their own agendas. So I wonder if, like, yeah, self-serving agendas are what leads to stagnation and repetition.
Ooh. Like, for every character in this, like, we're just not talking about the bad, like, I don't know, the bad character, like, the bad guys, I don't know what, like, you would want to call them, but also the main characters as well, which is interesting.
Yeah, because it feels like to me, Mono was going against that, and then, you know, in the end, wound up falling prey to it and became a victim of it when, you know, he transitioned into becoming the Thin Man.
I think
From what I
Six
feel
does
like,
I think Six does the same thing. 'Cause I think Six becomes the lady.
Right. So,
Kinda.
What were you gonna say, Reckoning? I'm
I feel
sorry.
like it's okay. I was gonna say I feel like with a lot of the characters, they sort of fall into like also like the name of the title, like their own little nightmare. Like they become their worst fear in a sense. Like because when I think of Mono, he like also just like with his name in terms of like Mono, there's a lot of implications that come with that. So Mono can just like in general just use means one, but it can also be there's the fear of like there's monophobia, which is the fear of being alone. So Mono goes through like in Little Nightmares 2, he goes through his whole journey in trying to like save Six, trying to keep his companion as long as he can, but in the end, he ends up alone. I feel like each kind of character kind of like mimics that kind of cycle where like they end up inhibiting or something just comes about of their worst fears. Like I almost want to say like the teacher to an extent, where I know on their official page they kind of describe her as like she's like well not they don't call her a hard ass, but like she's like a very like strict teacher, and it's like all the students are good under her gaze, but the reality is that they're misbehaved and they cause chaos all the time. So she kind of is trying to like be in control of that almost that little nightmare in a sense. And I feel like other characters sort of like replicate that pattern.
Right. I mean, you can totally see that in the school. The school is just like a disaster. I mean, there's like desks piled everywhere. There's just garbage lying around. There's holes in the walls. There's just the lockers are falling apart. Like everything is just, so obviously there's problems on all fronts. Like with this teacher being super like whacking the ruler on the desks, but also like the kids are so unruly. Holy cow, they're just like running around like crazy, especially when you get to like the cafeteria and in that hallway where they're just like jumping from lighting fixtures and beating each other up is so crazy. Yeah, but it is true. It's funny that you're trying to defeat like we're saying, you're trying to defeat something in this game, but at the end, it's like you become the thing that you were trying to defeat, which is like, whoa, mind freak.
Hey, listen.
Kari-chan, hey, listen. What? You
don't have to do it now. You have a hydrate redeem.
Oh, from the baby phoenix? Thank you for the hydrate. I'm sorry. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. But, yeah. So sorry. But so we were talking about the little nightmare. It's funny because it's like, do you feel like in a way possibly, because it's like a lot of I noticed that a lot of people were saying, well, okay, the boss characters, the characters that you come in contact with, the bigger people, it's like they're what children fear, at least more in 2 than necessarily 1. Like janitor. Oh, hello, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
Oh, Steph is here.
Hi, Steph.
Hello, Steph. How are you? Did you get back from work? What's so funny, Steakhouse?
Steph's here, so I'm sure the chaos will resume a little.
For me.
Kids could be afraid of a chef. Yeah, like more so to a teacher, doctor, a hunter, I guess, maybe. But also maybe a janitor you could be afraid of. Janitors could be, I guess, kind of creepy to kids. So it's like, oh, that's a little nightmare, right? It's like, oh, they're little nightmares. But also, I was also thinking that it's funny that Mono and Six could be considered the little nightmares themselves, because honestly, when you think about it, when you go around in this game, you can create a big mess. And there's actually an achievement in the first one where it's like unruly child or something, or naughty child, when if you break all of the statues, like the little lady statues, if you break all the statues, like that's an achievement, but it's called like unruly child or something, or like naughty child or something. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you get an achievement for that. And it's like, oh, okay. So I almost think to these boss characters, to these people, that like Mono and Six are like actually the little nightmares themselves too, which I thought was pretty funny. I'm like, oh yeah, they could be. So I know some people were saying things like that.
But am I the only one that thought this game and both of them kind of center around the 7 deadly sins in a way?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, that makes
that
sense.
too.
To me. I can see that.
Yeah.
And so the second one I watched you play through, I watched Demikos and Shaluya, and I didn't feel with the second one as much, but the first one also felt like the mall was like a form of purgatory, like they were all stuck.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's like Steve mentioned, like it's just a constant everything going on and on and on. So it's felt like that to me a lot with the mall.
Yeah, because you wonder, like, where are these people coming from? Like, they're coming from a boat to the mall, which is kind of like, I think Keaton mentioned this, that it's kind of like it's almost like one of those oil rigs that it's stationary, but it also can kind of move and like bob up and down and stuff, because it is moving. Because it's so funny. Oh, I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about the art. In the first one, it moves all the time. The scene moves constantly from right to left. Like, you could see the pictures that I took. I tried to get them level as possible, and it was really hard because the screen keeps moving.
Being on a boat.
Like you're on a boat. Like you're kind of on a boat. So that's why the
With
pictures
T-Pain.
are right. That's why the pictures are a little off. But in 2, it's easier because it's more flat. Because you're outside, you're in a house. You know, you're on the ground. And in here, like, since you're on like some kind of moving vessel in the water, it's moving from left to right, which was super cool. I think that was a great way to handle this kind of scenario here in these situations. But yeah, you wonder, like, where are these people coming from? Like, they're coming off of this boat, they're going out to the mall, and then they're just like gorging themselves on food.
So I think it was you who was talking about looking at lore the other day, right?
Right.
I did a lot of reading and stuff, and the first one looks like it centered a lot around Spirited Away, and how
I thought about that
too. They built that world from the first one, because the mall you could say is similar to the inn or whatever that building was that the lady was running.
Bathhouse.
All this. Yeah, the bathhouse and all the spirits that come in there. So you could also say there's a possibility that these are all spirits of some sort. And they are stuck, like I said, in like a purgatory of some sort until they move on and however they go about doing it.
Yeah, that's true. I see, definitely a lot of Spirited Away elements in this. Absolutely.
Because the other thing I read too is a lot of the people that board the mall are rich. It's for the rich. It's not for the poor. And the kids would be the form of the poor. Like, they were feeding on the poor.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, about the like rich and the poor, I can agree with Steak. Because one of the things was that they all have masks. And I heard a theory where the masks are like paid for, and the doctor makes them. In Little Nightmares 2, you can see a wall full of like masks of familiar faces, and they look like the guests' faces.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a good way that they're connected.
Like kind of like the decadence of the rich also takes the form of devouring those below you.
Which again fits the Spirited Away thing, because that was very much Spirited Away. Anyone who had a bunch of money could visit the bathhouse.
Yeah,
and think about what No Face did, right? With all the fake gold. Like, everyone was so consumed by avarice and greed that they would do whatever they needed to do in order to get their hands on No Face's gold. So they could gorge themselves and everything.
Right. So we got gluttony, right? Greed. There.
So
what's the next
lust?
one?
I mean, lust doesn't necessarily mean you're sexual or any way. It just means you're lusting for power.
Right.
Or I guess you would say vanity would be like a bit of a stronger point, just because like the lady seems to exhibit that a lot. She's the only one, like out of like all the characters that you see in Little Nightmares 1 who are very like large and grotesque. She is the only one who's like slim, and seems to have a lot of focus on like beauty.
Right.
She has like tons of like mirrors in her room, and clothes and mannequins and all that sort of thing. So she seems to like view herself as above everybody else.
So pride.
I guess also makes sense why she's the head who runs the maw.
Right. So yeah,
So-
this like pride there. I'm trying to think, what are there's pride, lust, gluttony, greed. What are the other three?
Hey, good lord.
Somebody Google this.
Hold on.
I said vanity, but I guess pride. Maybe pride's more accurate.
Hold
Is
on.
vanity one of them?
They are lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So could you say, so how many boss monsters are in both of them? There's at least 7, right?
I think so.
Could the monsters themselves be the forms of the 7 deadly sins? They all represent
Since
one of
there's
them.
7, yeah, that's true. Well,
Because you could say the twins could be sloth, slow moving, I guess. I'm trying to figure out how the other ones would fit, but
yeah, I mean, I definitely see pride in the lady, but I'm trying to think of where the Thin Man would fit into the 7 deadly sins theory arc. Because he doesn't necessarily exhibit any kind of like purpose other than to just like steal Six and Mono away. Like, well, I mean,
3 maybe.
For what?
Or it could be envy.
Ooh, envy. Hello, Lloyd.
I mean, that's obviously like the theory. Like that's the best thing about these games is it's so left open for interpretation for everybody to be like, this is
True.
what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see envy because of how Mono is like left behind and essentially trapped in the bowels of wherever that is, in that just like fleshy, grotesque location. Perhaps after becoming the Thin Man, or perhaps during the process, he became envious of Six's freedom and having escaped and leaving him behind.
Right. So Mono in fact became like envy, hence the Thin Man. So yeah, that makes
Like an embodiment of the sins. Or something.
right. Exactly. That makes sense. So, but what about the broken mirrors though? So the lady, obviously there's pride there, but vanity, pride, but all the mirrors are broken. Why is that, do you think?
I read something a while ago about her, and I thought it was fascinating. I'll have to see if I can find what I read quickly, but yeah.
I could talk a little about it. It's kind of spoilery for the DLC. So
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know
That's
if
all right.
that's okay.
I should have played the DLC. I'm sorry about that, but that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. So what they show in the DLC, or like there's kind of like 3 parts to it. And like the final part is like where you get the most interaction with the lady and kind of like seeing more of her quarters.
Ooh,
And
okay,
there's
cool. Oh, I definitely want to play
there-
now.
And there's a scene near the very end where you're playing as I forget what he's called. I think he's just called like the Lost Child. Like
It-
you're just like
I think it's just the kid. Like I
Or the
remember
kid.
from the title screen on one of the like the second title screen. It's like it's like you want to play a 6 or the kid, and it's so I guess he's just the kid.
Yeah. So as you're playing as the kid, he kind of walks through her like personal bedroom, and you see her like she's actually looking into like a long mirror, and it's hard to tell if it's actually her face, but she doesn't have her mask on, and her face is
cool.
kind of like sagging, and it looks similar to like how like the chefs or like that kind of like grotesque kind of like imagery. And she's leaning into it, and she's like looking very like sorrowful, like she can't believe what she's become kind of thing, until like she sees you and you get caught, and then she puts the mask back on.
Ooh, I definitely want to
So-
play that now. I want to see this. I mean, that's kind of a great element, actually, when you can actually feel for what is perceived to be the bad characters of a story, and you actually feel sorry for them. And I feel it's great when developers or writers for these stories can create that. It's like not everyone is 100% pure evil in these. You do kind of feel bad for them in a way. So that's interesting with the lady. I think the lady more so you feel bad for than the Thin Man. Maybe they could have developed that a little bit better in 2, that you actually do feel some kind of emotion for the Thin Man, whereas in 1, with all of these broken mirrors and things, you do kind of feel sorry for her. And at the end, when 6 picks up like what seems to be the only non-broken mirror in the entire place, so she gets that mirror, and it hurts her, it's draining her. So it's like, I was wondering if you guys were wondering why that is. Why the broken mirrors? Why is this her weakness? Why is her reflection? Why does her reflection not show who she is inside? Like, it's like a Mulan thing, right? But almost like you're painting over your mask of who you really are. Like Mulan has to do with her makeup, and she's like, no, I'm going to take my makeup off, and this is who I really am. So what do you guys think?
There's one theory. So one of the theories I actually remember reading is possibly that 6 is the child of the lady, and the lady put her in prison because of her being prettier than the lady, or some sorts of like that.
Kind of like a Snow White kind of thing?
Yeah.
The queen jealous of Snow White? Interesting. Which
There was also
sorry, go ahead.
another one. No, there's another one I read that the possibility of the lady was once a part of the Pale City and left because she didn't like dealing with Thin Man.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I am keen on that theory that she was initially in the Pale City and then left after. I just kind of feel like the reasons might be a bit different, and it just in my opinion, because like in the Pale City, you see a lot of like the people around with like their faces like almost like sunken in, and like they're almost like indistinguishable. And I feel like that's like an effect from like being in that city and like being so close to the signal tower. And from what we've seen with the lady, with how much she values her beauty and her vanity, I would see that as like a reason for her to leave and like
That's why
like to
she would
stay
wanna leave.
away from that.
Yeah.
But I don't think she actually escaped the effect of the signal tower, which is why like in the DLC you still see her like mourning over her lost beauty, and then that's like her motivation for trying to get it back.
So that's interesting. So where does it tie into the rich and the poor situation and why she it's almost like she created this maw to finance her own desires, to finance her own, like, her life. It's like, well, I'm going to create this place and I'm going to hire this chef and I'm going to hire this person and all these people are going to, like, spend all their money and eat all this food. And, like, do you think that kind of ties into it with a little bit?
Maybe.
No? I might be stretching. I might be stretching a little bit with that.
It's tough because there's no, like, solid answers to any of this. So there's no like.
Yeah.
And even the developers at one point I read a while ago that they're just like, yeah, this stuff is the way it is. So they don't even answer the questions that we have. So there's no like definitive like. So she's doing this for this reason. It's just like it's being done. Why is this being done? Why?
Right.
So there's all these questions like. What the fuck?
I was just gonna say, they did debunk one theory at one point, which was like the whole, with like Six and the lady, like being related, like, because I think they had like an interview and like people were asking that, and they were kind of like, we wouldn't really write that kind of mother-daughter relationship, so it's not really that. That's like the only time where they kind of were like, no, it's not this.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks because I did like when I did watch your playthrough of Little Nightmares 1, I was fully like into the whole idea of like it was almost like a Cinderella kind of story where it's like the evil stepmother and like Six is like Cinderella like locked in her cage trying to escape. That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks that they actually said something and debunked it. But I still like the theory regardless.
Right, it's an interesting theory, but I am kind of glad, I guess, that they debunked it because, like, in my mind, I guess, just me personally, I don't see any of these characters necessarily related. I just don't think that... The thing is the size. Like, I really don't think Six and Mono and some of these other children are actually human children. And maybe the other characters, like the Lady and the Thin Man and all of the other characters in this, are not human characters. Like, maybe they are, like, spirited away, some different kinds of spirits or something, because just the way, especially when Mono and Six are grabbed, it's like they fit in just the palm of their hands. They're so tiny. It's almost like they're gnomes themselves. So I really don't, but this, I mean, again, this is just my opinion. Like, it's neither here nor there. You know, whatever the developers think or what they wanted to do. That me personally, I don't believe that Mono and Six are human children. There's some other kind of, it's almost like, it's like we're in Lord of the Rings, and it's like there's dwarves, and there's hobbits, and there's elves, and there's wizards, and there's humans, and they're all different kind of species that are human-like and look human, but are not necessarily human. So that's just my opinion.
I mean, it's not wrong. And the thing is, like, this game is left open for that, just that everyone will have an opinion, and it's not wrong.
Right.
There's no definitive answer to any of this stuff in this game, other than the fact that it's creepy as fuck and it's good. That's all.
Which they made, they brought that across really well. I just wanted to say really quick what Steph said in chat, which was interesting. So Steph said it could represent her unrealistic view of herself, the expression "so ugly you could break mirrors," and she also says kind of reminds me when Mother Gothel entangled when she aged rapidly at the end with the broken mirrors. That's cool. Steph also said I definitely get Tangled in Snow White vibes with the whole longing for beauty storyline. Definitely.
That could be why.
Yeah.
That could be why ladies in the mask all the time.
Right. The masks.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the masks are so interesting because it's like everybody wears them. It's funny when I first noticed the chef and he reaches like underneath the mask and he's like scratching his face or something. He's like scratching his head or scratching his like face because he has an itch or something like that. And I'm like, why? But why the masks that also look grotesque? What do you guys think of that? What is the deal with the masks? Like the lady, it makes sense. She's got a prettier mask on, and if she was being disfigured because of the pale city, and she's putting on a prettier mask, but why is everybody wearing these really crazy, weird, grotesque masks?
I think it's human mask. Like I think it's human skin.
You really?
I do. I think Keenan was the one who I talked to about this. I think it's humans. Because even in the kitchen of all that meat, I don't think that's animal. There's no animals anywhere.
So
What's the meat coming from?
do you think it's actually like human meat?
I think so. It could
Really?
also be very possible that the people that are going onto that boat are getting fattened up to be fed to other people. So again, it's like that repeating factor.
It's like a Sweeney Todd thing. It's like a
Yes.
Sweeney Todd. If you guys know Sweeney Todd, if you don't, go see it. It's creepy AF, but really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy implications that like the meat that's in Little Nightmares 1 is the children, because how you progress through the game, you end up finding like a lot of cages and then a lot of the children within them, and then it goes into another stage where you see the janitor like grabbing children and he's wrapping them up and then puts them on a hook, and then
Yep.
those like bodies, like they go over to the chefs, and then when you first enter like the next chapter, like right even before you get to the kitchen, there's like a giant pile of like unwrapped like bandages that look like the ones that the children were wrapped in. So I
Right.
definitely feel like
Yeah.
that the meat are the children.
Angry chair. How about Mono needing to eat throughout the game and eventually eating one of the? Oh, that was 6. So 6 was the one. So Mono is the boy in the second one. 6 is the girl in the first one with the yellow raincoat. So yeah, that's interesting. You know, that's interesting too. Now that we're talking about that we're talking about Steakhouse doesn't think that this is actually animal meat. Like, this isn't a cow, this isn't a pig, this isn't a sheep or lamb or whatever. So, which is funny. Lloyd said ew, and then Raptor said I'd still eat it. Tastes like chicken, right, Raptor?
Frog legs.
Yum.
Delicious.
But so so let's get into that a little bit with this craziness that 6 turns into like some kind of cannibal. At the end of Little Nightmares 2, she ends up somehow going through the TV and she sees the pamphlet for the maw on the ground by like Evil 6. It's like this shadow Evil 6 or something. I'm like, where the heck did she come from? And she's looking at that, and then when you see her show up in Little Nightmares 1, she comes out of the suitcase. So she obviously snuck into the maw somehow through this suitcase that somebody was bringing over there. So yes, somebody was coming from Pale City over to the maw. But at the end, you hear the rumbling, which takes you back into the audio sound effects of this great sound that's like, it's like this hungry stomach sound that she's making. And it's almost like this is draining her. She doubles over in pain and she's like, she can't breathe. In the controls, you can't jump. You can't grab onto anything. You can't do anything unless you eat this rat, this piece of whatever it is, and the gnome, which is messed up. And the gnome is offering her some sausage. What I said when I was streaming this, I was like, 6, you got a whole pantry full of food here. Look, there's carrots, there's radishes, there's tomatoes, lettuce. What are you doing, girl?
Makes you wonder where they got all the vegetables.
where are these vegetables? Like,
Thank
who are these
you.
people? Where did you get these vegetables? Like, why? Why is she doing this? So you've been murdered. So, what do you guys think with this crazy cannibal? Like, why is this happening to Six? What's going on here?
It's weird because as the game progresses, her hunger gets worse for other things, right? So, like, when you first feed her, it's what, bread, I think? And then it's rat, and then it's gnome, and then she essentially eats the lady. So
right. It's like, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where they were going with that. That's one of those ones I never could figure out, because it also shows that Six is pretty cruel. Like, there's moments of cruelty with her, and she will eat a gnome that's offering up the sausage, or
I know, that's
whatever
what I
you
thought
want
was
to call
weird.
that.
Yeah, whatever sausage looks like a sausage, might not be a sausage. Who knows? But yeah, I'm just like, why eat the gnome?
No, Raptor. Six did not choose the genocide run.
Six chose the genocide run. Six is gonna run into Sans. Do you want to have a bad time?
Cue Megalomania.
Angry Cherub makes a good point. How about the mysterious character that throws her the meat through the bars in the first game? I was thinking about that too. Like, who is this child? Or is that the kid? That might be the kid throwing her the meat through because they can obviously see that she's hungry, but it's like, does this kid understand that she's not just hungry for food? She's not just starving. She's hungry for some kind of essence, something else. It's almost like the Skeksis going after the essence of the Gelflings in the Dark Crystal. You know,
the Dark Crystal.
I love that movie. Yeah, that's creepy too. Jim Henson went on the creepy route instead with these movies.
And then he also had David Bowie, Crotch Bulge.
Bowie. I mean, Six chose the genocide run. Maybe as her power grew,
An impressive cock.
David Bowie's impressive cock. God. Maybe as her power grew, she had to eat bigger things to satisfy it. Yeah. So, okay. So Steph's saying maybe like the sausage, whatever the sausage was made out of, did not satisfy. So she went for the gnome, which was like, whew.
So, like, I know the original title of this game before they settled on Little Nightmares, it was supposed to just be called Hunger.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Hunger was definitely a part. Like, hunger and, like, I feel like, and consumption. Like, those two themes were definitely, like, the main core of Little Nightmares 1.
Angry Cherub brings up a good point, too.
Yeah, kind of goes hand in hand with the Seven Deadly Sins reference. Yep. Her gluttony and
Oh
greed
my.
is growing. Steph, why?
Is it because we're talking about sausage?
Sausage. So, the image on the screen right now, Raggedy brought up before that you think, oh, no. Who was it that the lady actually brought Six here? This is kind of interesting because when we first meet Six, she's like imprisoned in the hunter's house. And it's weird because the hunter does not wrap her up, does not eat her, does not use her for food or like the taxidermy crazy stuff that he's doing in this house. He's doing like this crazy stuffing people with cotton taxidermy kind of thing, like the people at the table and the grandmother upstairs. But Six is kept alive in this basement with the music box. So why is that? It's weird because it's like, you know, Six is destined to become the lady. Mono is destined to become the Thin Man. And it's this cycle that goes on and on and on and on. But one point I wanted to bring up, actually, that we passed before was the picture that's on the wall in the hallway in the maw with the red like wallpapering that has like 5 ladies standing there, and 6 appropriately named is 6, that she's going to be the 6th lady. Which makes sense that I don't necessarily think that they're related, but it's some kind of destiny that you're going to have to deal with, and this cycle is just going to continue on and on and on. Who's going to be picked next to be the 7th, and who's going to be the next Thin Man, since Mono becomes the next Thin Man after that. So
maybe that's why 6 eats her and takes the power, so she has the power to stop all of it.
True, she could have the power to stop all of it now. She can end it. That is true.
It's not the circle of life, Steph.
It's not the circle of life. Steve is super quiet. Steve, what's your opinions? And Keenan's quiet. Steve and Keenan are quiet.
Is there anything you'd like me to weigh on in particular?
Well, what do you think of what we're talking about with like their relationship, like them not being related, the cycle that they're going through? Is 6 meant to be the 7th? Steakhouse brought up a good point. Is she supposed to be the one to stop it? Like, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm certainly not as well versed in the game as the rest of you are.
Okay.
And from my time watching you play through both of them, I don't know. I feel like there are plenty of loose ends that need to be tied up. Not just those, but there are like others. There's a lot left up to interpretation.
Right.
So I'm not really sure. Like, what is their purpose? Like, are they meant to stop the cycle? Are they meant to perpetuate it? Like, are they meant to become something greater and extend the reach of the Maw in the Pale City, stuff like that? Are they meant to shove it off into a smaller corner so that it's forgotten? Like, there's many avenues that it can take, I think.
I mean, that's kind of a great story too, when there's so many questions at the end and they're never answered, and you're just like, why? It doesn't necessarily make you angry or mad or frustrated. It's just more intriguing, and I think makes you just wanting more. Which kind of sucks, because I heard that the developers are not going to do another Little Nightmares, which really sucks.
They're
It
not.
sucks.
Yeah.
But they're moving on to other things, and it sucks, but I think they got kind of their story across with what they wanted to do. So
It's not to say that like Little Nightmares won't tie in with any other titles that they create.
That's true too. So Angry Cherub said that 6 becomes evil in the second and turn on Mono, where she consumed by the power she gained. Did she have power in the second one too?
I don't think she had any power, but I feel what happens is like she got affected by like the signal tower after like being put into it. Just because like I feel like that place ends up just like affecting everybody in some sort of like negative way. So I feel it's like after she's been through the tower and after like that whole like boss fight where or when Mono is trying to like break her music box, and like she goes like from like being like this huge like twisted giant that only happens like once she was in the signal tower. And it wasn't until it feels like the music box was like creating the illusion. And once it was broken, and after she went back to normal, that's when like she had like a different demeanor.
Yes.
And it felt like her, not exactly that her personality changed, but it definitely seemed like she was like betrayed by Mono and lost empathy for him.
Right. Exactly. You almost feel like in the beginning that they do have some kind of connection. Obviously, they're helping each other out. There's one scene, I think it was it leaving the school? No. It was leaving the hospital, I think. and they're pushing the doors open, and it just falls into the abyss like nothing, and she catches him, and you're like, whoa, 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 oh god, and it's like, press the right button, press R1, you know, and she pulls him up. So she's obviously helping him out, but there is definitely a change in her throughout 2 when she attacks one of the puppet children. She takes one of the arms in the hospital and she's like contorting the fingers all over the place. And it's like, what you doing there, Six? You having fun with the little... And the thing that got me the most, I don't know if anybody remembers this, is at the end when you last hit the music box and Six, you know, changes from the huge Six, large Six, back into little Six. When you see her get up, notice this. Go watch somebody streaming this, or go watch a playthrough through this, and watch the way she snaps her head up at Mono, and she's not looking him with like loving eyes anymore. This is like, you have completely destroyed my world and my life, and I hate you. You know? I honestly, like, it's not in a good way. I really do feel like, I don't know, people are going to probably think I'm crazy for saying this, and I told this to the group. I feel like Six is completely justified in letting Mono fall. That's an interesting reason. I think Angry Cherub said that she finally sees Mono's face and sees the Thin Man in his face, and she's like, I have to let him become the Thin Man, or like, I have to let him fall because he's not actually a good person. But Mono is a good person. He's trying to do his best to help her, and it's not either of them's fault that they kind of destroyed each other's world. So a lot of people are saying like, oh, Six betrayed Mono. How could she? How could she do this to him? But it's like, when you think in her mindset, look at what she was going through. The only thing that gave her solace was this music box. He completely destroyed it. And it's like he completely destroyed her world. And now she doesn't see any kind of happiness or like any kind of good feelings toward Mono. So, because it was just that in that instance in the end, they're running away from the eyeballs, and then she just lets him fall. So, what were you going to say, Steve? I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was, but then I realized you were going to.
Sorry.
No, but I had a couple of thoughts on it. Number one, it's like the illusion of free choice, or the idea of free choice versus like just fate dictating everything. You know what I mean? Like how there's the line of thinking where like we do have free will, and then there's the line of thinking where that like every action that we have is predetermined. So it could be some kind of metaphor like touching upon that, like, you know, with what you were saying about oh yeah, like it's not either of their faults, like this is just the type of thing that was going to happen. So like, did they have the choice to make the actions and, you know, do the things that they did, or was this all predetermined from the beginning? Right. And the other thought that I had was that it's like interesting to see the fallout that happens when somebody's world kind of comes crumbling upon them, especially when they're fixated on something so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Like, you know, Six was fixated on the music box, just like in real life, you know, some people are fixated on little things that ultimately don't have nearly as much value as, you know, other things. You know, some people may be fixated on, I don't know, like video games or something. And when that's taken away from them, what's left? Right? So
it's
maybe they'll lash out.
It's almost like, you know, well, Linus from Snoopy or something, like you're taking away a child's favorite blanket or something like that. And it's like, they feel like they have nothing left, you know? Like you take Linus's blanket. Is it Linus? Linus, right? I think it's Linus. You take his blue blankie away from him. That's like his whole world, you know? But Rusty Keys makes a really good point. Like, if the
Yeah,
Thin
I
Man is
just saw
really
that.
Mono, yeah, maybe that explains why the Thin Man was so intent on snatching Six to break the cycle. If Six isn't there to let Mono fall, then there's no Thin Man. So, and
Yes,
Mono,
I agree.
yeah,
I agree with that theory so strongly. Just because, like, just like with Thin Man's like demeanor when you first see him, like compared to like any of like the other like bosses that you see in the game, he doesn't actually come at you in like a wrathful or angry type of way. He just is like calmly walking to try and stop Mono because I think he already knows that Six is going to betray him. So he's trying to prevent his past self from making that mistake.
right. But yeah, at the same time, I don't think Six or Mono realize what their part has to play in this whole entire scenario, in this whole story. Like, they don't understand and they don't know. The Thin Man does know, so he's trying to stop it, but he can't necessarily explain it to him. Like, hey, look, I'm just trying to break this cycle, guys. Just go with it, you know? It's like he can't really explain that. Omar Disvignates or something. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the follow. Hello. How you doing? We're having a little Nightmares discussion. I'm Michelle Knotts. I do voiceovers and stuff. Hello. So it's funny that we talk about like who's betraying who. It's interesting in the second game that since they're together, like you can hold hands with each other. Mono saves Six from the puppet children. And she's like, oh, it's like, it's you, you're here. You can sense this connection towards, like, connection with them. And it's so abruptly changed, yeah, at the end with the music box. And in Mono, honestly, like, I don't blame either of them. Like, I don't say, like, oh, like, one's betraying the other. Like, it's a perfect word to describe it, betrayal. But at the same time, I don't, like I said, it's neither of theirs fault. They were both trying to do what they thought was best at the time. Like, Mono's like, she's messed up. I gotta help her. It's this music box. Let me destroy this music box. And Six is like, you just destroyed my whole entire world. My music box was everything to me. How could you? I hate you. I'm going to let you become the Thin Man and fall. Bye. And then she leaves and goes, and it, like, I think Steph was saying, and that's when, like, her power is, like, she's gaining this power, growing this power, and this insatiable hunger for whatever it is, even, like, the lady's power, the gnomes and stuff. So, it's really interesting that, like, you don't, I don't know, you don't see anyone as, like, the bad character in these games, even though it's a horror game and you're trying to run away from stuff and not get killed. So
Yeah.
could you say in a possible way that Six is using Mono to get to the maw?
maybe that's
Because
a possibility.
She shows in the first one, and you even see it in the second one. She shows signs of cruelty, a lot of it. The way she does things, like, you know, kill the puppet kid, the hand, drops Mono off a cliff, and then she goes throughout and plays the first one. I want to keep saying the second one because it comes out after, technically, and story wise.
Right.
But the way she does things in the first one too, she eats the gnome. She basically kills Lady to take her power.
Right.
So it's almost like she wants revenge on her, so she's using Mono as a way to get to the maw.
Which kind of, I was thinking, ties into, like, who are actually the little nightmares here? Like, are Mono and Six actually the little nightmares? Instead of the other people.
Is Six the main bad? Is she
Is
the bad guy
Yeah.
in the games? Is she the main bad guy?
Which I don't know. I can't, but this is just me personally. I can't see Six as, like, this main bad character because of everything that she's been through. Like, obviously, circumstances and situations that happen in your life should not justify bad behavior. It shouldn't. But her mind is just so messed up. And we that's another question too, is we don't know where she's coming from when you first meet her in the hunter's house. Because when you first meet her in the hunter's house, when you look on the wall, there's chalk marks of like, I don't know how many, I don't know if it's supposed to be days, weeks, years. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the slash is 5 that's counted on the wall. It's a long time. So, whoa, we got some paragraphs in here.
I want to say, I think at Six's, like at her core, one of her main motivations is always going to be a survivalist. She's always going to try
Right. Yes.
and survive her situations. Because even with Mono, when she first met him, she didn't even trust him. When like he extended his arm and tried to be helpful, she looked out for herself and like ran straight past. It wasn't until she needed help, or like where she recognized a situation where Mono could help, when she decided to like actually pair up with him.
Well, do you
And then
think
their trust kind of progresses from there.
do you think it's like a PTSD thing though with Six, that she can't really trust anybody? She's not used to trusting anyone. Because of
So
whatever her backstory is, she obviously doesn't I'm trying to think of the word. Like, obviously Mono is like breaking down the door to get in there to, because he's like, yeah, somebody's in there, I gotta get them out of there, which he's just trying to do the right thing, and she freaks out at that, and she freaks out at him and runs away. So I feel like there's some kind of issue and backstory that she has, like you said, with trust, and also with some kind of, I don't know, maybe she was beat, maybe she was abused. Like, it's hard to say, you know? Sorry, people were
So
shooting off
what I
fireworks.
can-
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, what I've noticed, or at least like from what I've seen in terms of like the developers trying to give Six maybe like a little bit of the extra backstory, they made a mobile game called Very Little Nightmares. And
I think you did tell me about that, right? I forgot about that.
yeah, and Six actually shows up in that.
Oh, okay.
So, but there's kind of two characters. So there's a character who looks like Six and is actually wearing the yellow raincoat, but it's not actually Six. It's just some other child who's like, she shows up every once in a while in the game as the other girl who looks like Six is trying to like navigate the house that they're in. Like, she's trying to escape this mansion type of area. And there's like different interactions between this girl and Six. Most of it is Six still kind of like trying to run away, because that house in the game, they call it the Nest. And it's in a very similar function to how the Maw is, where like they capture children and some of them try to escape. So Six is still in that similar situation like how she is in Little Nightmares 1, where she's trying to like escape from there. But the interactions between her and this other girl, they're never really that friendly. Both of them, if they have the chance to like shoot past each other, they do. It isn't until like the very end, and it's like, actually there was a scene in there where it almost felt like a betrayal, where there's some like monster who is chasing both of them, and at some point Six was ahead and she trips and falls down, and the girl in the yellow raincoat shoots past her, and then she gets into a shed and locks the door, and Six is left outside of it banging to get in.
Oh no.
But the other girl doesn't open the door for her.
Ooh.
So what happens later is that there's one final like boss. Although it isn't actually like an adult or anything, it's actually surprisingly a child, who's called like the Pretender, and she tries to chase after the yellow raincoat girl, and Six is there, who actually she made it to the other side and was okay with actually helping the yellow raincoat girl, but by the end she pushes a boulder that kind of ends up knocking both the Pretender boss character and the other girl down into an abyss, or not so much an abyss, but it was down into a river.
Oh.
And then what happens is like it's implied that the girl drowns, but her raincoat, it floats up and goes like down the river.
Oh.
And I feel like that's kind of like
wow.
how that coat ends up in Little Nightmares 2, like how it ends up in the Pale City, like it kind of like washed up there.
Dude.
And then Six ends up like getting that raincoat
Now
again.
I want to play this game. This is a mobile game? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now I want to play this game. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's really
Yeah, so I
cool.
feel like just like based off that interaction, because like by the end of that, Six still ends up winning in a sense. She's the one who survives. She's the one who gets on a raft and goes forward. So I feel like she definitely, at her core, she doesn't trust anybody but herself. If somebody's useful for a little bit, she'll play along, but in the end, she'll still look out for herself.
We have in the chat, Angry Cherub says, interesting how Six takes power away from the creatures in the first game and hungers for more. In the second, Mono is running from and fighting to survive. Kind of sounds like Six doesn't want Mono in her world because she's gained power and status in this once terrifying world to her. Oh, okay. This is kind of, Max says it's kind of Billy's backstory. Oh, I love Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things. Billy's backstory in Stranger Things, because he lost his mom, who he loved very much. He had a horrible father who fought with his wife, treated her and Billy horribly, so that's why Billy was mean, like Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Will, and Maxine. Oh, that's interesting. Sleepy Streamer. I would really like a third game because, yeah, the ending of the first one. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the developers are going to do anymore. But apparently there's a mobile game and there's the DLC, The Kid, for the first one, which I really, really want to play. I definitely want to play
There's
that.
also comics for it too, I found out.
Are there comics? Oh my god, I need this in my life too. What did Rusty Key say? Is it confirmed that the other girl is Six? I thought it was just some other kid. Since we never see her grab the raincoat, I thought it kind of drifted to the city where Mono 6 find it. So, that's interesting. Is Six really Six or not? Is it some other kid in the hunter's house? I don't know. Well, because Six is the one that goes to the maw in the first one, so I think that is supposed to be Six.
I think so. Just because, like, by the secret ending in Little Nightmares 2, where they show Six finally getting like those hunger pains that was iconic from Little Nightmares 1. I think that's like the connecting thread that they're the same person.
Oh, there's a comic. I gotta read the comic. I gotta do all the things. I want to play the DLC. I want to read the comic, and this is so cool. And play the mobile game. I want to play the mobile game. Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Recipe's meant in the mobile game. I think they are still different, just because in the scene where you see like the first girl, and there's a scene like when she falls into the river. She has like a really long hair and like that's like in a braid. And the other kid that's implied to be Six has like the shorter hairstyle that we see her in, like in Little Nightmares 2.
how long is the mobile game? Do you know? Did you play it?
No, I watched a playthrough of
You
it.
watched the playthrough. Okay.
It's
okay.
it's not that long. It doesn't take. It's like an hour.
Oh, okay. It's like a short mobile game. Oh, I could totally play that. I wish I could stream that. I don't know how to stream mobile games. That would be cool to stream like a mobile game, but I don't know how to do that. I have like the PS4 and the Switch hooked up, but that's it. So, but yeah, that would be super cool. So,
Keenan, you're so quiet. Do you have any more thoughts on what we've been talking about?
with like all of this mental breakdown of Six and Mono.
Let us know your thoughts.
Well, I definitely think that Six is a survivor. She she doesn't trust anyone. I agree with all of that. She does what's best for her. So, I do agree with that. I don't have anything more to add. Most of that stuff was covered, and
I talk too much. I'm sorry.
Me too.
No, that's all right.
you're fine.
I do want to say, going back to like the artwork, I didn't get to talk about this cool like MC Escher style. Now that I'm seeing the pictures here that I have in this slideshow, like this awesome MC Escher looking crazy tower with the staircases, and I thought going through the doorways of where the music box is, like you had to go through the right door where you heard the music box, and I was like, that's brilliant. That's such a brilliant mechanic in the game. I was like, dude, that's so cool. Because at first I didn't get
I
it.
love the whole aesthetic.
Yeah. And then there's Big Six. Oops, I hit my microphone, sorry. Lord Six. I was like, hey Six, you okay there? Hi. It's me, Mono, remember?
Yeah, the purple at the end of the game is like pretty cool. Nice aesthetic.
Yeah, what do you think of like the pink and purple hues in here? More like
Evil.
You think it's evil? Okay, I was thinking a little like maybe like a little girl's bedroom, but on the same token, evil. Yes. I don't
It feels
know.
out of place.
It feels out of place. Yes, that's a good thought. That's a good interpretation of it. And then the eyeballs. This thing just looks like poop, which is like it's perfect that it's just all like
It also feels out of
brown
place.
and disgusting looking. Cause yeah, this is just like the heart-wrenching moment of the game. So
Yeah, Steph just wrote in chat the breakdown of purple being associated with royalty, nobility, power, and ambition.
yeah.
So I guess that color could personify, I guess. I'm struggling for the right word right now. But yeah, like I guess it just exemplifies how Six was feeling at that moment, you know what I mean? She became a powerful creature in order to deal with Mono, who had just previously broken the music box. And I suppose, yeah, she just wanted the power to deal with that. She lost the luxury of the music box, and she had the ambition to escape from where she was and maybe reclaim the music box in some way. I don't know. There's a bunch of ways that it could
Right.
be viewed.
Yeah.
Also a common like both with like the color and a bit of like the aesthetic within the signal tower. Like when you find Six in that sort of like children's bedroom, there's like this purple like patterned wallpaper that is very similar to the same type of like wallpaper that you find in the ladies' quarters at the mall.
That's true.
So-
That's very true. Yes. Which also, like Steph said, is, signifies royalty, nobility, luxury, power, ambition, which makes sense that those colors would be used in the ladies' quarters and the mall. What do you guys think the MAW do you think the MAW is just called the MAW? Does it mean something? Is it an acronym for something?
I don't think it was an acronym.
So.
I think the MAW just meant I found out about it. I forgot if it was from an actual language. But I think it just meant mouth.
Oh, it means mouth. Okay. Which makes sense. That makes sense. Also toilet paper. I just
Also
love
kind
that
of-
shot I got. I'm like, I'm going to throw the toilet paper and I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm like, yes, I got it.
One of the things was that in the soundtrack, there's one of the names of the songs is called "The Lure of the Maw,"
Ooh.
and it's like the lure of the mouth. Like it's luring you to go inside the mouth. So I'm not sure if that's just me or, but it was interesting.
Rusty Key says the maw of the monster. So it's like the monster's mouth. Yeah, we got some great like theories and stuff going on here in chat and with you guys, which is awesome. Oh, I'd love to talk about the eyes everywhere. Eyes on the walls, and the drawings, like the children's drawings of the eyes. It's just like eyes on the elevators, eyes on the doors, eyes on the walls, eyes drawn in crayon, eyes drawn in blood, the eye that shines the light and turns the poor children to stone. What is this ever-seeing crazy Eye of Sauron kind of Lord of the Rings-ish? What is with this eyes? What is going on here? Any thoughts?
You know how like Steak at the start was saying, like, when you're playing the game, it looks like someone is looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it plays through that. So like the eyes that they're looking at you throughout the whole game. And it's just that point of view.
You think it's like the player at all? Like resembles like the person playing the game is watching the characters? Do you think that could be a thing or not really?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Everyone's looking at me. Help.
I was gonna say maybe they're trying to tell you to take 6 in mono to the was it Mordor?
Take him to Mordor.
Go take the ring.
One ring to rule them all. And in the darkness bind them. All eyes on us. I thought that was so crazy because like on the tower too is like the ever-seeing eye, that it's like who or what is actually watching all of these people and 6 and mono and all of these characters in here. The eyes are just everywhere. So, which is freaky.
I feel like the eyes are like a
Okay.
representation. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I feel like the eyes are like a representation of the entity that is the signal tower, or that kind of like resides within it. Just because like once you're in the tower and you actually see what it is without like all the illusions, is all these eyes. And it feels like that's still like the creature that's affecting everybody, and like its reach still like gets to the maw and like other places. So that's what I feel like it harkens to.
Mm-hmm. We're on the, which is funny. We're on the pictures now. We just passed the pictures of the eyes of the camera, which I thought was great. It was like a little secret that you had to go through this door. Which the puzzles in this game are just amazing. I love them. I love all of them. I love puzzles in games. And you go into this room and you press this button and it's a huge video. It's like a video camera that you could see throughout the maw, and it focuses on the children, and you could see the ladies' quarters, and you could see like other places in the maw, and it's like, and there's a chair in there, so it's like somebody is watching these. It's almost like security cameras. But the thing that I find funny is that it's in the shape of an eye. Like the security camera, video camera thing is in the shape of an eye, which I thought was very interesting. And I'm like, why is that? There's this huge eye theme going on. There's something going on with shoes everywhere. There's shoes everywhere. There's eyes and the TVs.
Someone just has foot fetish.
Foot fetish.
I was gonna say another thing that I think could play into with like the whole like they're like these are like the nightmares of like children or like children's biggest fears is just like because children are usually small, there's always somebody bigger who is looking out for them or looking at them. They're always being watched in that kind of sense.
Right.
So
Looked down on.
Looked down on. Yeah, it could be playing
Yes.
off of that type of motif.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. This scene with all the freaking shoes. This is like this trash compactor in the freaking Star Wars. I was freaking out. I'm like, ah! Rats hanging from the ceiling. Like, what? Definitely very horror elements and horror-esque in these games. It's so crazy. Why do you think he's like the janitor, I guess he also, I don't know, he's cleaning up the children, like he's capturing them in the cages. Why is his mask like falling off of his face? Because it's like he can't really see. He's always like feeling around. He mostly goes by what he hears. Also, I just wanted to point out, this is really cool, that actually if you go up to the screen and you put your hands up, it's like she's putting her hands on the screen. I was like, oh, you could do that? That's so cool. I just thought that was kind of neat. But anyway, so why is his mask like falling off of his face? Any thoughts?
That's the same thing with even the chefs. Like their masks are not fit to their body because they can reach their hands right under their faces. So it's kind of this.
They're made too
and there's
big.
another character that
like,
does that too.
Like the masks are made too big.
Yeah.
Unmasked.
That's one thing I didn't know. I couldn't figure out either. Like I'm wondering if the masks were made too big or if it's an age thing. Like the skin is starting to fall off.
Right. Yeah.
It got ripped of some sort.
Alice in Wonderland, where's the pie? Rusty Keys is interesting. It's like the Thin Man might just be another slave to the tower. True, yes. And oh yeah, the puppet child that was grounded, quote unquote, was literally tied to the floor and drawing tons of eyes on the floor. It's almost like this eye thing is some kind of, it's like a punishment to these people. It's like, watch out, you better watch, the eye's gonna get you, right? Like they're hypnotized, and it's like, if you don't behave yourself, you don't watch out, this eye's gonna torture you.
But what Raggedy was saying, like how it's like in a child's fears, you're looking up at people and stuff. Well, one thing that I was thinking is that it's just a child's point of view. So things are exaggerated. Things are scarier than they seem. Just things like that I noticed.
Yeah.
That's a lot with like how majority of the environment is designed in this like very like tall, like warped kind of style. And like the actual children are very, very tiny within it.
Right.
I think that helps like just show that it's like it's their perspective.
American McGee's Alice. Oh, I love that game. I played that before.
It almost kind of looks like the masks are melting off too.
Right.
If you look at like the stuff here on there, like they're very flabby. They're very. It's like not form fitting to the body that would be underneath. It's just like it's melting.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know. It's very weird. That's one thing I couldn't figure out why they did that with the chef, but that also alleviated how creepy the chef, or not the chef, but the janitor was, because he couldn't see you. He heard everything.
Right.
Well, it might be something with the the signal tower. How like when you're in front of it, everything is warped towards it.
Right.
And it's got to be something with the signal tower.
Yeah, what's interesting about the signal tower is that when you get to one part in the game where these people are literally like jumping off of the building, they're just like falling off of the building, and you're just like, oh my god, why? You know, the people with like the sunken in faces, like they have these sunken in faces due to like the TV or the tower or something like that.
Like, because they're so close to the tower that like the effect, where it affects them the most.
Yeah. Steph brings up a good point. What if the mask is some sort of protection? That's interesting. Protection against what, though?
Did you just say face condom?
Wait,
Yeah.
what? Who said that? What?
It's not a face condom.
Instead of face condom,
Face
yes.
Everybody use
Epic
protection.
nice.
An impressive cock.
Oh my
There
god,
it is,
stay
dude.
out. Oh my god. You love that alert, don't you?
my.
Oh,
I
Steph, I
mean-
was just gonna do that. You beat me to it. Damn
Well, I suppose Steakhouse knows an impressive cock when he sees one. There are some large cuckoos out there.
it. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
I mean, I don't know what Link's been getting up to in his free time, but I think he's been breeding some chickens.
What? Oh my god.
He's been breeding some
What?
impressive cocks.
All the cuckoos.
I didn't. Okay. Oh my god.
And there we go.
And derail number 2 complete.
Actually, this might be 3. I think we derailed it a little while ago.
Wasn't there a scrapped character that was like an elevator candle man? Was there?
Oh, I think that's there was supposed to be a bellman in Little Nightmares 1.
In the elevators?
A bellman?
In the first one?
Yeah. Like before before the game came out, and there were like promotions, and they had like a demo, and they had people like dress up in costume. So one of them was like one of the twins, and the other one was it was the bellman.
The
And
bellhop.
he...
Oh yes, Aztec said the
I said
bellhop. That's what
bellhop. Am I saying bellman?
bellhop?
Sorry.
Well, close enough.
I don't know my term.
I forgot too. I was like, what are they called again?
Yes, bellhop. Thank you, Aztec.
Gabby, hello. I'm so sorry, Raggedy. Gabby, thank you so much for the follow. Hello, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Sorry, go ahead, Raggedy. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So in that whole like demonstration, the bellhop person would be like behind a mirror, and like when people came up to the displays, like a light would show up and he would just like appear and like knock through. So I think in Little Nightmares 1, like he was supposed to be in there. And there's like an area where like they show where he probably would have showed up maybe, because there's a bathroom where like you can break, it's like a two-way mirror, and you break it, and on the other side there's a little bench where supposedly he would have been sitting watching people. Not sure why, but or what he would be watching for, but it's kind of implied that that would have been like one of his stations.
So was the bellhop just supposed to be there, not necessarily like a bad character that you have to run away from? He was just supposed to be there, like just watching you?
No, there's not a lot of information on him, so I don't know what I don't know what his purpose was supposed to be.
Because like,
I'm also wondering.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm also wondering, just because like they kind of did that in Little Nightmares 2, where there was a character who was supposed to be in the game, like the lunch lady. She was a concept that was supposed to be there, but then she couldn't make it in, so they kind of killed her off, quote unquote. and you found her in like the freezer.
Yes.
I'm wondering if
yes, I remember that scene. Yes, that's funny because you go in there and that's where you find one of the glitch children. You go into the room back right, it's by the cafeteria, and she's like literally in the freezer, like dead. She's on the floor. And I was wondering, I'm like, oh, was that supposed to be the lunch lady or something? Which is why there's total chaos in the cafeteria because there's no lunch lady, I guess. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I was wondering if because they did that in Little Nightmares 2. I wonder if Little Nightmares 1, if it's a similar thing where like the bellhop was supposed to be there, but they couldn't fit him in, so they killed him off, and he's that hanging, you know, like in the first room that you see like the hanging man, with like that chair, like that with the suicide note.
Right.
I wonder if that was supposed to be him.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I have a theory about that. Like the hanging man.
Okay.
Oh yes, tell us.
Well, I thought it kind of looked like the Thin Man, and when you look at the chair that was like under him, it's the exact same chair that he was sitting on at the very end of Little Nightmares 2.
Right. Yeah.
And like he seems like the same proportions, same shoes, same pants.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
So this.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
I could see it that way too. It's so ambiguous, so it's so hard to tell what it is exactly, because it could also 100% be the Thin Man, because he has the similar feature and the same kind of chair, and it would help tie between like, or it's like another tie between Little Nightmares 1 and 2. So I don't know. I don't know.
He could be possibly the way that Six got onto the boat too.
Right, because that's the big question. Obviously, she stowed away in a suitcase. How did she actually get onto the maw? That's a really good question.
The time and space is like a really weird concept in the Little Nightmares world, I find.
Yes, definitely.
Because like you have the Thin Man and then you have Mono at the same time. So
Yeah. It's an interesting time frame because I feel like not a lot of time passes between 2 and then 1, because it's like 2 is like the prequel to 1, and I feel like not a huge amount of time passes between those. But yeah, you're really confused as to when is this supposed to take place? Like how far along, how far in advance? There's one of the mirrors that you break. Yeah.
That's the exact shot I was talking about.
Is that what you were talking about before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad I took that picture. This killed me. This one scene. Oh my god, trying to get through this scene because it's like I didn't know the dresser was gonna fall. I'm like, well, the dresser fell. Look at that shot though. That's the best shot ever. I was like, yeah. I fell so many times. I died so many times there.
If you look at some of these pictures of these people that are on they're all wearing masks.
They are wearing masks, yes. They are wearing masks. Which is funny that the masks aren't, like, pretty. Like, also the hat right there, interesting. Looks like the Thin Man's hat on that little bench.
It's also very weird that once you get towards the end of the game, the last two parts, the Thin Lady, the lady, and then what we're looking at now, it all becomes very Japanese based. Very
right.
There's a lot of Japanese lore tied in because there's a lot of the masks that they're wearing. Those look very Japanese based.
Right. Well, she's obviously dressed in some kind of yukata or why does the name escape me?
Kimono?
Like a kimono. Thank you. That's what I was thinking.
Who needs words?
She's definitely dressed in some kind of kimono or yukata or something like that, and the way her hair is done, very Japanese influenced, which is very cool.
Yeah, I even noticed in the Pale City, there's a lot of like Japanese elements in some of the architecture too.
Yeah. Oh, right, like the roofs. Like, yeah, that's interesting. And it was like some of the roofs that they have that you jump on and land on. What do you think? I'm wondering. There's so many mannequins in this one. Like where we are right now in the slideshow. Like when you go up into the, I guess like the attic area, and there's so many mannequins of these kimonos or yukatas or whatever that the lady has. Do you think these were from previous ladies as well? Because, well, my theory of it is right here on the staircase in the one picture, there's 5 figures. There's 5 like shadowy figures standing there, and Six's name is Six, so I feel like she's supposed to be the 6th one. Do you feel like, because that's what I think, that in this like attic area are all of these outfits worn that you see here by the previous ladies, like that they're not just this specific lady's outfit. But that's just my opinion. That's what I think.
Maybe the mannequins came from a retail store going out of business.
There have been quite a few of those in recent times.
I mean, true facts. Steph says, what if they want to hide their true identity and they're exposed? They could be tortured like the kids. Could be a stretch. Maybe, perhaps. Yes, that's very interesting, Steph. Leave it to Steakhouse to make a joke about mannequins.
I mean,
in a store.
Of course I'm here to make jokes.
So
the mannequins could also be coming from the second one. There's a lot of mannequins in that one too.
Thank you for the sticker, Phantom. Thank you for the unicorn fart sticker. Rusty Keys said, I wonder what the place Six ends up at after leaving the maw is. I thought it looked kind of like a lighthouse. Hello, DJ Ranma. How you doing? So, where she goes out of, I think that is the maw, actually. And it's like under, I think that is the maw. Where she is. I don't think at the end that's like a lighthouse.
Yeah, it's like attached to the maw.
Super Steakhouse. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to Angry
What?
Cherub.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did. Stop it.
I'm talking with you guys.
Wait, do we still have a...
Thank you, Steaky, for gifting a sub to my
There we go.
friend.
I still have a Steakhouse command. Woohoo.
Wait,
Keenan.
what? Oh, God damn it. Yes,
Thank you so
unicorn
much.
parts.
Keenan for the unicorn farts. Thank you.
You know I had to.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
If we only had some square cut sandwiches.
Phantom, I see your comment.
Yeah, we gotta get us some square cut.
I've lost control of the stream. We are now in
That implies
chaos.
that you had control to begin with.
Again.
Hey, I had some semblance of control here.
Was
Stop.
it real or was it an illusion?
It wasn't an illusion. It was the Eye of Sauron watching me. Steph, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Rusty Keys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank
Michelle's
you.
probably making a mental note.
Phantom is banned?
Here again.
キーネンあらあらそれは大好きだよキーネンありがとう
Have you now?
You get fart.
Very kind of you.
Is this
Wow.
bits time? Steph, thank you so much for the bit. R.I.P. Steph.
Phantom told me to tell
her the
story of
Wait, what
square
story? Wait,
sandwiches.
there's a story? Wait, what? With the square sandwiches?
Careful, pick up that.
Amy, thank you. Amy,
And
you-
Dr.
you're
Troll.
hilarious. Oh no.
Hype train
Hype
now.
train. Thank you so much for the hype train. Where's my...
Oh, so much happening.
Steve, are you surprised?
Wait, can we hear... What's
surprised,
Raggy's
no, I fully
story? Wait,
expected
what's
it.
the story?
Okay, it's like...
Oh no, wait, I can't hear you. Oh no. Stop.
I might have to hold that thought. Just
Thank you for
just
the
a
number
hunch.
one. Steph, you're number one. You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking. Thank you so much.
You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
Hey, Steve, would you like some
Steph,
coffee?
thank you for the boo. Steph, stop it!
Ah, yes.
Oh wait, no, that was
Coffee
Phantom.
sounds
Phantom.
wonderful.
Good lord. Thank you so much for the gift of sub to Mario and Brian, and Michelle Tan, Pete, and present type. What does that say?
Presently petrichor.
What? Okay, whatever Steve said.
Yeah, they come around my stream sometimes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Phantom, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the level 3 hype train. Thank you all again for joining us for this little nightmares discussion tonight.
And now the derailment.
And derailment.
Oh no, it's Tiny Push.
Thank you for the unicorn fart. Thank you. And thank you. Who is that? Thank you for the tiny push, Amy. Oh no, it's a tiny push. Okay, can Raggedy tell her story now?
Yes, Raggedy, tell it. Do it.
What's your story?
Do it.
Okay, so it's like this inside joke that just went out,
Shout out
out
to
of
the best
hand.
Oh no, wait,
Son.
I can't hear you.
Quillfish. Keeping it
Keeping
real,
it real since 2001. Thank you, it's your boy Lloyd, for the Quillfish. Thank you. All right, are we done? Can we hear Raggedy's story, please? Thank you for the level 3 hype trade. I really appreciate it. It's an inside joke. Okay. Stop with the alerts. We want to hear Raggedy's story. Okay. What's your story,
Okay,
Raggedy?
So at some point, it was like last year. It's this when I was doing a lot of babysitting for my niece, and there was just one morning where there was like a lot of funny shenanigans that happened. So I made a mini comic. I drew it out, and I posted it in the Discord, and it was basically like it was about how I was trying to feed my niece breakfast, and she wanted Nutella on toast. So I made her toast. I put Nutella on it. I brought it. I didn't really cut it, so I just brought it upstairs for her to eat. And she was like, "Oh, my mom usually cuts it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went back downstairs, and then I cut it into rectangles.
Oh, you cut it that
And
way. Okay.
I was cutting it into rectangles, and I brought it back up to her, and she was like, "Oh, my mom usually cuts it into squares." And then by the point I was so over it, and I was just like, "Eat."
Just eat the damn sandwich.
Yeah, but Phantom saw it, and ever since then, he was like, "Hey, Raggedy, the squares are so much more superior. I don't know why you didn't make square Nutella sandwiches." And I'm like, I didn't come here to be attacked.
Hey, listen. No, I'm on Raggedy's side here. When you go to Alice's Teacup in New York City, you get like a tiered you get like one with like sandwiches, and what you get tea, and you get sandwiches and cookies and cake and stuff, and the sandwiches are cut into rectangles so you can share them because you get them on this like tiered plate thing. So there. So I take Raggedy's side because of Alice's Teacup. Go to Alice's Teacup in New York City. They're actually kind of expensive, but the food is delicious. So
Yeah, team rectangles.
Team rectangles all the way. It's based on Alice in Wonderland. There's 3 of them, and it's funny because like each one is called a chapter. It's like chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. They're in like different areas of New York. So I think I've only been to chapter 2. No, I've been to 2 different ones. Chapter 2 and chapter 3. I don't think I've ever been to chapter 1. So, but yes, Alice's Teacup, and they cut them into rectangles. So there you go. I'm on Raggedy's side. I'm on Raggedy's side with the rectangles.
Phantom, I'd be concerned if you were Raggedy's niece.
If I was your niece, I'd just stare at you. Phantom, you gotta go to Alice's Teacup in New York, and then you'll understand. Okay? they're delicious. You can get like salmon. You can get like all these different kinds of
Easier.
turkey and ham.
I remember when I cut those like sandwiches. I was thinking almost like, you know, like waffle sticks or like those.
Oh yeah,
Those
like
things that
fish
you could,
sticks,
like,
waffle
toast.
sticks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's a nice shape. You can pick it up. It's so perfect.
You
It's
know, for
edible.
kids.
And then Phantom came for me.
No, Phantom, I don't think you get your money back for not understanding. That's
Still
not
don't
how that
understand. Do I
works.
get my money back? No. What?
An impressive cop.
Phantom, you shouldn't have attacked Raggedy for that. That was uncalled for. And why the silver hand? What for? What? Oh, jeez. For God's sakes. Roxy Pal, thank you so much for the follow. You came in at an awkward time. Welcome
Is this
to
still
the...
part of derailment number 3?
This
or
is
this a
derailment
whole-
number 20 now. Thank you. Stop with the
Perfect.
fart
I don't
stickers.
think derailment can be quantified fully by numbers anymore.
Thank you for the unicorn farts, Super Steaky, aka Steakhouse, aka I know where you live.
No.
Keenan, thank you for the unicorn fart.
Yes, thank you, Phantom. Thank you.
Wait, did he apologize? You apologize? You betray yourself? Phantom, you apologize to her.
Yo, shout out to the best
Yo,
Pokemon. Low, low,
For
low,
real?
low, 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 low.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
1963. Who is that? Amy, thank you so much for the and for real from Steph. Thank you so much. Thank you. For real. I love my for real sticker. It's so fun.
For real?
For real? Are we done talking about Little Nightmares or what?
No.
idea.
For real?
Amy, thank you so much for the for real. We also have Pokemon stickers. Now, yay! I did the voices for them. I recorded them. So anywho, rectangle sandwiches are the best.
I think pancakes are the best.
No, stop it. No, Steve, stop. No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. Stop it.
What about
That is-
circles?
What? What?
Circle sandwiches.
Who fucking has time for that?
Why is like salami and bologna shaped like a circle, but not bread?
Dino sandwiches?
Because people are downright heretic.
What are you talking about? What? Dino shapes? What? What are you talking about? Now there are dino nuggets. I've had dino nuggets before.
Dino nuggets are fucking awesome.
Dino nuggets are delicious. Yes. Sandwich is ball shaped so the meat is more comfortable. Steph, where do you come up with this stuff?
I think she may have taken and borrowed Raptor's brain.
Ball shaped.
No,
Kyle.
no, Pikachu
Just
Master,
Kyle,
no.
careful if you talk about ball
No,
shaping,
that's
Kyle
for
might show up.
tomorrow. That's tomorrow. That's not today. Steve,
Impressive
you keep your mouth shut. Oh my god.
Now I'm just thinking of a spherical sandwich. It's like
You never sing it.
Sandwich.
It's just alert time. We're just doing alert time.
Oh, so it's a
A
bagel.
bagel. There you go. Put it on a bagel. That's what it is.
No one mentioned triangle sandwiches yet.
Kyle? Is Kyle here? Kyle,
Or
right?
like an English muffin. Those are typically round.
What about a cube sandwich? What about a dodecahedron sandwich?
Is a taco a
What are we playing
sandwich?
Dungeons and Dragons now?
Is a taco a sandwich? That's a good question. Is a taco... Can you imagine triangles? Is a taco a sandwich? Are you Googling this? Who's typing? Is a taco a sandwich? It's this.
You never sing it. Come
if
What if a taco's a hot dog?
There.
a taco is a wrap? A taco is a wrap. Taco is closer to a hot dog. But a hot dog is just like one thing. A taco is like you could fill it with chicken or meat and toppings. Like the only thing, well,
Hot dogs also get toppings.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mustard,
I'm
ketchup.
wrong. That's
Here's a
true.
question
You can
for
put
you.
And they're held
relish.
in a
Is a
very
hot dog
like
top?
Chili
vertical
dogs.
fashion.
Is a hot dog a taco?
I don't know, but we have a poll currently.
Is mayo an instrument? What? That doesn't even
Is
make any
mayonnaise
sense.
an instrument?
That doesn't
It's
make any
a
sense.
SpongeBob reference.
Is cereal soup?
No, Patrick. Mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either.
Cereal is not a soup because soup is supposed to be brothy. Soup is supposed to be brothy and hot, and cereal is cold and has milk in it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone microwaves their cereal.
I
I
don't
hope not.
I mean, oatmeal you can microwave. But oatmeal is oatmeal, not cereal.
Stop talking about mayo right now, everyone.
Technically,
Gazpacho?
oatmeal would be stew.
Ketchup is not a
Is
smoothie.
ketchup a
That's
smoothie?
disgusting. That's gross. Ew, no. Ketchup is a condiment. Gazpacho is cold. Is it cold? Really? 'Cause-
No, water isn't wet, Phantom. It's dry.
How wet is water?
So, you got detention. You screwed up.
No,
Oh,
who
God
did
damn
this
it.
poll?
An impressive
Wait,
crime.
who did this poll? Wait, what? Wait, it just says no. Wait, I can't vote?
Well, yeah, I guess
So
that
the
is.
poll's already over.
Who did this?
Yeah,
Gazpacho's
which
cold
one of
and
the
is a
mods?
soup. Cereal is
Which
a
one of
soup.
the mods put this poll up?
Is Sonic a hedgehog? Adorable.
Steve's Q.
Steve is handsome.
Steve is handsome, but you know what? So is Steakhouse and Keenan.
Yeah.
No.
Did you guys
Yeah.
know
Yes.
Raggedy is
We're
gorgeous?
outnumbered.
Raggedy is gorgeous.
Yes.
If you've seen her pictures in the Discord, I'm like, holy crap. Raggedy's super good looking.
Y'all are gorgeous.
I'd date her. I was like, damn.
Well, you know what Keanu says.
What does
You're all
Keanu say?
breathtaking.
An impressive
You-
This is what Keanu says.
That's what he says, Steakhouse? Really? That's
Ah, yes, that's it.
Sorry, Raggedy doesn't have a cock.
Maybe Raggedy raises chickens. You don't know.
I have my own cuckoo farm.
keep Link away
Yeah, there
from
you go.
Raggedy's
There it is.
chicken coop.
So Raggedy apparently has multiple cocks.
Oh my god! What the hell? It's your
Hey,
boy
wait,
Lloyd.
this
Also, thank
isn't
you very
cyber-
much.
This is not
Ara,
cyberpunk
ara.
where they just appear out of nowhere. Okay,
それは大好きだよ。Ichiboy Lloyd Kun. Arigato.
so he raises cocks. Thanks, Phantom.
Phantom, what
Oh,
the
dear.
hell, dude?
Oh, Phantom, I'm not.
Is lasagna is not a cake, Amy?
What?
Is lasagna a cake?
It's a pasta cake.
A pasta cake? Chaos.
Could be a sandwich.
Lasagna is not a sandwich.
It's a pasta sandwich.
Oh, Pikachu Master, thank you. That's so nice of you. You're too kind.
Like a poll? What the hell are these polls? Steph, is this you?
Phantom.
No, Patrick. What? No, Patrick. I'm gonna vote no, Patrick.
Is an egg an unripe chicken? Yes.
No, an egg is an unfertilized chicken. That's what an
That's
egg
not
is.
necessarily true. What if the eggs fertilize and hatch?
Yeah, not with that attitude.
No. Then what is it, Steve? Steakhouse, enlighten me.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Yes.
Yes, that's your answer. How do you get sandwich from the lasagna? The pasta substitutes the bread. But, Keenan, you're in the Discord. Why are you typing in the chat? Just talk over us. It's okay. You can talk over me. I'm totally fine with it.
I don't want to interrupt anyone.
I'm totally okay with it. I interrupt
Phantom-
people, and I just apologize.
I'm too
Phantom is-
Canadian.
I'm too Canadian. You're too
Phantom is answering for me and Steve, apparently.
That is no excuse. I'm Canadian too, dude.
There you go.
An impressive.
Wait, answer for what?
Oh my god. You guys are too much. Oh no. If plastic is made from oil and oil is made from dinosaurs, are plastic dinosaurs made from real... Oh my god! I don't even want to think about that. What? Oh my god. Where is this gone? This is insane.
So,
Cake?
about Little Nightmares.
I want cake now. Now I want some cake.
Yes.
The cake is a lie.
What about illegal?
The cake is
yeah.
a lie.
I can't talk.
So, the only. As long,
Nightmares.
Michelle, you can have cake as long as it doesn't end up in someone's face.
But is it okay if it ends up in Steve's face? Come on, Steakhouse.
I mean, I did say that it was fun.
He said it was
Yeah, he's
fine.
closer. Steve's closer. Go ahead, have fun.
Have fun. Did I hurt you with that, Steve? I'm still so sorry about that. I apologize. I feel
No,
really
it just caught me off guard.
You started laughing though, so I'm like, okay, maybe he's not mad at me.
No, I wasn't mad at all.
Okay.
I'm still sorry. I'm so sorry, Steve.
Are French
Okay.
fries No, French fries are a potato, which is a starch.
Yeah, Michelle straight up didn't hesitate doing that, though.
I don't know, you know?
Yeah, it was like
'cause we were
pulling the
talking-
trigger of a gun.
We were talking about smashing cakes in faces, and I was just like, you know, it would be really funny content. And Steve, you were the closest. It could have been anybody sitting next to me, and I wouldn't have cared who it was. But because you
Is
were
it
sitting
known
right next to
sausage?
me, I was like, is Steve sitting
Fate
right
has
next
chosen
to me?
me. I accept my destiny.
Right. It's like I've chosen his fate. I have chosen Steve's fate, and there was nothing that he could do about it. And I'm just like,
And then Phantom got you.
and then Anthem was Anthem.
Hey, Anthem.
Adam. I was saying Adam and Phantom at the same time, and it came in with Anthem. Oh no, it's super stinky. Thank you for the fart, unicorn. Unicorn fart.
Anthem is Phantom's
Adam was
sworn
like,
enemy.
oh. What, Keenan? I'm sorry.
Anthem is Phantom's sworn enemy.
Anthem. Ant-Man?
Anthem or Ansem?
Ansem the Wise.
Ansem the Wise.
Hashtag
Welcome
random shit.
to Kingdom Hearts. Oh boy. What happened? Listen. What?
Handsome Varric.
Handsome Farrick. Aw. Better watch out.
Keenan's
Oh,
hitting on
pretty.
you. Keenan's gonna hit on you.
What's your favorite word? Mine is what is that? Defenestration? Throw a specific chair, a person out of a window. Super Stinky, thank you very much. But stop with the unicorn farts. Oh no. No.
She
Keenan, thank
she
you.
actually telling me to stop. It's gonna keep me from doing it.
Thank you for the unicorn farts. Stop it.
What is our favorite word?
Yep, I feel like Psyduck. Psyduck fail. I've lost control. What do you guys think of my new Pokemon emotes? Didn't Shaz do an amazing job? She's amazing. She's so awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Excuse me.
They're so cute.
She's from the UK. She's a super cool
So
artist.
adorable.
Go follow her on Twitter and social media. Oh no. Sorry. Thank you so much, Amy and Steph, for the stickers. Unicorn fart and Piplup Dab. The Piplup Dab just looks so good. Like, you could see his whole face and everything, and you could tell
I
he's doing
agree.
a dab. It's perfect. I needed no
New emotes
corrections.
and stickers and everything.
She sent me the samples. She's like, here's, like, you know, she'll send me, like, the hand drawn, like, the drawn, like, not colored. And even, like, the not colored, I'm like, this looks perfect. I'm like, holy crap, these are perfect. I didn't even need any fixes or changes. I'm just like, they're perfect as is. It's like she read my mind, like, knew what I wanted. Amy, it's your boy Lloyd. A Roxy pal. Oh, wait, never mind. Thank you for the follow. Excuse me, I have a bit of a phlegm. So, we kind of derailed a little bit from talking about Little Nightmares.
A little.
Oh,
Yeah.
just a touch, just a tad. Do we have any other thoughts? Or, it's been 3 hours. That's pretty long. This video was only like an hour long, so it's been going through 3 cycles now.
I mean, I personally don't really have much more to contribute simply because I'm not as well versed in the game as the rest of you are. But you know, I was able to piggyback off of what everyone else was saying, which was good.
And Phantom asked if we would like to see a Little Nightmares 3.
I would. Unfortunately, the developers said that they're not going to continue the series. They want to work on other stuff, which they're extremely talented, so they can do whatever they want. I'm sure they'll make an awesome new game. I would
But what
love
if?
to. I would really like to. I
So
mean,
I got a question for you guys. What did you not like about the games?
the mannequins. Like, straight up,
Mannequins loved you.
no hesitation, I hated the mannequins because just trying to control this stupid flashlight was like a nightmare in and of itself. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I don't know how many times I've died. I wish I had a counter. I wish I had a death counter for how many times I died in this stupid mannequin scene. I couldn't take any pictures of the mannequin scenes hardly because I'm like, I'm not going to get through this again. There's no way. I'm like, as I play these games over again, I'm like, I don't want to do this again. And 1 wasn't too bad. 1, excuse me, sorry. 1 I was able to get through. Okay. 2 was harder than 1, definitely, by far. So I need to grab a water. I'm sorry. Wait, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I just have to grab a water, but it's right behind me. Oh.
Among Us.
Greetings, fellow humans.
Hey Steve.
Yes.
You know, when she returns, you need to talk like right.
Ren.
No. Everyone's favorite.
Morgana.
Yes, do that.
You mean like a voice like this? Tiny and small.
Oh boy. This is hilarious in every way possible.
Very sorry. Hello. What were you talking about? Me? No.
What was the voice again, Steph?
What? Have you done the voice we discussed? What is she talking about?
I don't remember.
No Phantom. No square sandwiches.
No square sandwiches, only rectangles. You stop. Keenan, talk French to everybody.
Et tu veux que je parle le français? I don't know what to say.
Say anything.
Yeah, literally say the word anything.
This is why Japan is winning.
N'importe de quoi.
They get square.
They get square? What?
So what is the voice, Keenan, that Michelle loves to hear?
I think it was like my own version of the Akechi voice.
Oh no! No, you don't have one of those too, do you? Oh no. I will die.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Not as good as Steve's though.
Steve, we need to hear it to compare.
No! Stop. This for tomorrow!
Which voice am I doing now?
No, it's for tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Morgana's voice.
It's for tomorrow.
Yeah, I can do the Morgana voice.
There's always tomorrow for dreams to come true.
Hey, looks like you're going to buy a drink from the vending machine. What are you going to get?
Steve, you're so funny when you do those little voices in the Zelda games that you're playing. It's so fun.
Thank you, swordsman.
Phantom has a request, Keenan.
Oh no.
No.
Phantom. See, he immediately just says no. He's like, no.
Oh, I meant oh no, but what's that, Phantom?
I like the fact that you just said no. That's even better. I just want to hear how you say this. Oh, geez.
Oh.
What is that?
Is this dirty?
Somebody get Google Translate.
Et on faisait n'importe quoi, qu'on devient n'importe qui.
What does that mean?
By doing anything, that we become anyone.
Ooh. Is that some kind of saying or something? Is that some kind of, Sounds pretty deep.
Yeah.
It's the deep scream.
Thoughts by Jack Handy. You guys remember Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy?
Yes.
On Saturday Night Live? That was funny. All right, well, I don't know what else to talk about.
I think we're Little Nightmares talked out. Because now
I mean, we talked for
talking
3
about anything.
hours about it. It was pretty good. Is there anything that you guys hated
Yeah,
about it? Like,
it was
I
pretty
hated the
good.
mannequins. Is there anything that you guys hated about the game?
I would say the only thing I wasn't a fan of was like there was a lot of things that you left unanswered. I know that was the idea of the game, but like, why is Six the way she is? Like, they give you no answers at all throughout the game, and the fact that there's not a third one coming to tie up some of these answers kind of sucks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the closest to what I would dislike. Just because I haven't played the game myself. But yeah, there are some things where I'm like, I really wish there was like something a bit more concrete for like an answer of like how Six is or what her motivations is. Like she's like the biggest mystery.
Yeah.
I feel like out of majority of the Little Nightmares franchise.
Absolutely.
So we really don't know much about her.
True. Yeah. Good night, Pete. Can I get a good night to Pete in chat, please? Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.
Pete.
Good
Take it
night,
easy.
Pete.
Good night.
Night, Pete.
Night, Pete.
Slender Man. Ooh. Angry Cherub didn't like the Slender Man design was stupid.
Oh. Damn, some harsh words.
So what do you guys did we talk about the gnomes and where they come from?
The gnomes. We forgot to talk about the gnomes. Raggedy had a theory, right, about the gnomes. We forgot about the gnomes.
Not such a theory, but just like knowledge from what I've seen from the DLC. So I think it's like the middle chapter is like when you get to spend a lot of times with the gnomes.
Oh,
and they have like their. Yes, you should. The DLC is really, really good.
I should play it.
So basically, like the gnomes, they kind of have their own like little like system within the maw. I think they sort of help power it up. But
Really?
in terms of like, yeah, it's almost like they're very similar. Actually, they're very I forget what they're called, but you know, in Spirited Away, there's like the little like soot guys who carry the rocks and then they throw them into like that furnace. The gnomes, they do a similar thing where they kind of like line up in a row and they power up this furnace, which I think in turns helps power up the maw.
Yeah, that's interesting. So many like Spirited Away references in here. I remember the little soots. Yeah, the little sooty things. The little black dudes. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, I do think Spirited Away is a big inspiration.
Especially on the first one.
Yeah.
Amy brings up a good point. Maybe 6 is a representative of innocence and how you can't really keep it as you progress in life in spite of your best efforts. That's interesting. That's a good thought. Yeah. That's cool.
Why do you guys think the developers made it a prequel to didn't continue from the first one?
I think they had an idea of where they wanted to go and maybe doing a prequel. It was a bigger reveal, which was cool. It was because you think that 2, it's like Little Nightmares 2, and automatically you're thinking, oh, okay, this is completely separate from Little Nightmares 1, but it's not. When you finally get to the part where the raincoat is, and 6 picks up the raincoat and puts it on, you're like, oh, it's like this big reveal that happens, and you're like, wait, this is 6 from the first game? This is a prequel? What? And then even at the end, with when you get the secret ending, when you get all the glitch kids, you get the secret ending, and with the secret ending, there's the picture, the like brochure, I guess, pamphlet image of the maw that she goes to. So I think the developers knew what they had in mind for both games, and maybe they were going to make one game at one point, and they separated it into 2 games, and they're like, wait, we're going to do it this way, and we're going to make a prequel with 2 to 1. So I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was a brilliant idea. The only thing that I really hated was like some of the mechanics in the game. I don't know, for some reason the depth perception, I could not jump on those beds to save my life. I don't know why. I was like, what am I missing here? Why am I not jumping on the beds properly? There were some kind of glitches here and there. I glitched out on a couple spots. I got stuck like in between a wall or something. I'm like, I can't move. I have to go to the restarting point because I can't move anywhere. So
yeah, I think they tightened up a little, like the controls and everything in Little Nightmares 2 compared to 1. Because I'm also trying to play through it, and the amount of times it just kind of glitches out is a very frequent.
Right? Yeah. This is my only complaint. I mean, the Manians are cool. It was just hard to navigate through. So just like some of the little mechanics in the game.
Phantom asks if we think they're under a spell. I'm guessing he's assuming talking about the gnomes.
Are the gnomes under a spell?
Probably from the lady.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Wait.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Go ahead.
Forgot to. Oh, just like one part of like the whole like gnome backstory, or at least like how they become what they are. So when you play the DLC and you play as the kid going through like the whole Ma and the mansion, and then he runs into the lady, but like he's basically defenseless, and she actually like she lifts him up and turns him into a gnome. and
Really?
Yeah, so she's the one who turns them into gnomes. So all the gnomes are basically previous children.
So the gnomes are the children. Wow. Oh, I want to play this DLC now. I want to play the DLC.
I wonder if that like relates to anything with the glitch kids.
You know, yeah.
Like maybe Tall Lady, what she did was turn kids into the gnomes, but Tall Man turns kids into glitch kids. Something like that.
Yeah, there's a parallel there.
Because the only two that seem to have any form of powers are Tall Man and the ladies. So are they the ones that basically rule the whole worlds there?
Yeah, it's funny the spell thing. What I was thinking, I was like, wait! At the end of Little Nightmares 1, when all of the gnomes kind of go up, when Six is leaving, like walking outside of the mall, and all of the gnomes show up there, and they're all just like watching her. And I'm like, why? Why are all the gnomes watching her? You know? Because it's like she's got the lady's powers now. So, yeah, that's interesting. Maybe the perception of the game...
because like she got the lady's powers, they kind of answer to Six now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Amy focuses on hanging on to something that prevents you from progressing in life. Yeah, totally. Super cray cray.
Oh, cray cray.
So good though, so good. I was enraptured with these games. I love them so much. I was entranced. I was in a trance. There's the eye on the door.
Yeah, they were very good.
Oh, speaking of the things you find in Break in the first one, that basically releases a spirit too.
Whose spirit though?
The kids, maybe. I don't know, because those little things you found and you smashed the first one. Maybe they're like the gnomes of people or the kids that she trapped.
That's not a good idea.
So the kids' spirits are trapped in the little dolls that you break, and then like you're releasing them. That's interesting.
Those almost act like when they dissipate, they almost act like a soul or something leaving the body or dissipating in a way that a ghostly image would.
Yeah, and they're in the same kind of like shadowy magic kind of style that in the DLC there are kind of like shadow kids that are there where I think are also like representations of souls, and they both have similar effects. So it could be the souls.
Yeah. Angry Cherub, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night. Can I get a good night to Angry Cherub in chat, who is Raggedy's friend? Thank you so much for joining us. This was fun.
Good night.
Cool. So, I might have to play the DLC. Maybe I'll do that next Saturday. What do you think?
Ooh, yeah,
that could be fun.
Now I want to see the DLC. Maybe I should have played the DLC before this, and it would have answered some of our questions, but oh well, that's okay.
If it's short, you could try to find a way to play the mobile game too.
Yeah, I don't know how to stream that. I mean, I could ask Chris. Like,
yeah,
how do you stream mobile games? I know people have done it before. I've seen people stream like Raid Shadow Legends and things like that. So,
which you love?
No, I haven't actually played Raid Shadow Legends in a long time. I kind of put that off to the side. I'm like, I don't have time to play this. Can we talk about what an amazing artist Raggedy is? Yes.
Facts.
Raggedy is helping me with my Persona comic that I'm doing, which I'm almost done with episode 3, and I'm gonna make episode 1 and 2 into videos. So I ended up with like 60 panels. There's like 60 slides. And I'm like, I cannot fill up my Twitter and Instagram with this and Facebook with all of these pictures. So I'm just going to make a video.
Have fun.
And now the video has music and it's got sound effects. Oh, Dunamis!
Fight for your honor! Defend the castle!
I love that song. Dunamis! Oh, Dunamis is Irish Ian's boyfriend, right?
Yep.
Thank you so much for the raid. What's going on? Good to see you. Hello, how you doing? I'm gonna do a shout out to Dunamis. What were you playing? Terraria? Terraria? Is that what it's called? Terraria with a few friends. That's cool. Thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. Good to see you. We might be like wrapping up in a little bit. We were talking about Little Nightmares. We don't really have too much else to talk about, I think. maybe I'll play the DLC.
Yeah, I was
kid.
gonna head on out because I'm starting to get tired. Like I'm having a hard time focusing.
Oh, Steve, I'm so sorry. Okay. All right. Well, we can end it here. Well,
All right, no big deal.
Are you okay? I'm so sorry. I feel bad.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm still just catching up on rest. Like all the fatigue that I had accumulated over the week hit me like a truck yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, get some sleep. Get some sleepo.
Well, thank you for having me on. For those of you in chat, please tune in tomorrow for more Persona 5. I don't know when you're planning on starting, Michelle, but you've been starting at what, like 7:30?
I know. I want to start at 7. I have on my about page I start at 7, but then I'm like, oh no, wait, it's almost 7, and then I end up starting at like 7:30.
Yeah, so follow
7 or
Michelle's
7:30.
Twitter, follow her Twitter and other social media, hang out tomorrow at like 7:30, whenever it is she starts for more Persona 5 Royal. And yeah.
Steakhouse, why are you shout-outing me?
Yeah, shout out
Stop.
Michelle.
No, I need to shout out everybody that's on here. So we'll shout out I am Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
And we'll shout out
I got you, buddy.
Super Steaky.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you for the shout out, by the way.
No.
And then, I don't have Keenan Raggedy's Twitter. Put your Twitters on here. Put your Twitters in the chat.
Yeah, you guys totally should follow Raggedy because she's awesome.
Thank you, Sticky.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Steakhouse and Raggedy and Steve and Keenan. Thank you so much for joining me with this discussion. This was so much fun. Yay.
It certainly was. I wouldn't mind doing one of these for like Persona 5 whenever it is you wrap up with it.
Oh my god. This game.
I would imagine that there would be lots and lots to talk about there.
We can just spend an hour of Steve talking like a catchy.
I would die.
Well, apparently we want to save tomorrow.
No,
so
I'll make
will-
pancakes. I'll make some pancakes.
Chocolate chips.
Oh my god. Stop.
Delicious.
Enough.
All right, I'm gonna get ready for.
All right,
So
well, I'll
thanks
hang
again,
up-
Michelle,
I'll
and
hang
I
up
will
with you.
catch everybody
Have a good
tomorrow.
night, Steve.
Yeah. Thank you,
Take care,
Steve. Have a
everybody.
good night.
Have a good night, Steve.
You as well. Take care.
All right. Well, I shall hang up with you, lovely, lovely 3 people, Raggedy Steakhouse and Keenan. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, Michelle. This was so much fun.
Yay! We should do this again with like other games or something. We'll figure something out.
Discount game theory. That's
Thank you. Discount game theory.
thanks.
Yay.
I love it.
This is really fun. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Raggedy Steakhouse and Steve and
You're
Steve. Well, Steve is
welcome.
gone, and Keenan. All right. I'll hang up with you guys, and then we'll go raid somebody. All right.
All right.
Have a good night to you.
All right.
Bye. Bloop. I hung up with them. All right. Let's go raid somebody. Do. Who's on? Who is on Twitch? We got lots of people. Oh my god. Oh, Casey's on. Oh, I should go raid Casey. I haven't seen Casey in a while. Casey's playing Tony Hawk. Thank you so much for the unicorn fart. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go raid Casey. Yeah. I love Casey. Casey's the best. Okay, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys had a great time. Thank you so much to our guests. Mongillo. Is that how you spell it? Mongillo. Okay, we're gonna go raid Casey. We'll do a sticker party tomorrow. Thank you so much for the unicorn farts. Thank you everybody so much for the subs, gifted subs, bits, and stickers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for joining us. This was so much fun. Thank you. Thank you so much for the pride sticker. We'll get up to another sticker party tomorrow. Thank you so much to Steakhouse and Raggedy, Steve and Keenan for the talk. This was great. This was awesome. Y'all have a good night. Give Casey some love. See you tomorrow for more Persona 5 Royal. Hopefully we'll run into a catchy. I'm crossing my fingers. because we didn't run into him last night, and I was very sad about that.
An impressive
Thank you, Steakhouse. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.